Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of July 21st, 2019. On the cover, we have One Piece. I'm not a big fan of this banner. I get why now. Like, when I saw this banner, I hated it. I looked up the original Japanese cover. I apologize for the quality of this. But, like, this looks fine, because clearly, like, it's meant to be looked at as a box, basically. Like, you're supposed to be able to see, the full bodies, and from this perspective, then, like, what Luffy being that zoomed in makes sense. Whereas with this, like, they did rejig it a bit. Like, Luffy isn't quite as big, so, there is... I still don't like something about the composition of it. I guess it's because we still have, this angle where, we're going from, Zoro in the foreground to the girls in the background, sort of, and there's a lot of empty space. It just, I don't like it. But that's a big nitpick. Like, who really looks at these? Plus, after a week, they're just gone forever, so I doubt they put that much effort into thinking about the composition. That said, in other One Piece news, we have One Piece. Boichi covers Zoro versus Mihawk, which I am really interested in, because the title of that, like, Boichi covers Zoro versus Mihawk, is... Like, when I think of cover, it's either, covers as in, like, goes over, or covers as in, like, a music cover. Like, doing it again. Which is not what I was expecting. I was definitely expecting more of a Shokugeki no Sanji sort of thing. Which, to be fair, this doesn't say which Zoro versus Mihawk it is. Like, it could be one from the time skip, it could be something we haven't seen. But the term cover, to me, implies that it's going to be, like, the original Zoro versus Mihawk. Which could be cool in its own right, I guess. Like, it's just, the name, the title already got me off guard. But we'll get to that when we get to it. I also do want to say, though, I appreciate that we go from One Piece to the One Piece one-shot, drawn by Boichi, to Dr. Stone, which is drawn by Boichi. Like, there's this clear continuity of, everyone loves One Piece, it gets the cover, sure, that's awesome. Then after that, here's this other One Piece thing, you slide smoothly into that, and then, hey, if you like this, but you don't like Dr. Stone, why not try Dr. Stone? That's nice, I really like that. Anyways, that's enough blathering on about the table of contents. Let's jump right into Actage, Chapter 74. I can't believe this is happening right in the middle of the airport. Like, they are just doing the entire play now. Which is pretty wild, because from what I understand, like, there are more than 2 people, but, like, this is essentially just doing a guerrilla live performance. For no real reason, without announcing it, without it being a thing. It's just, they're doing it. Oh my gosh, that's actually really cool. Like, he's just ad-libbing now. He doesn't remember his lines. But that makes it even cooler. Because then you'd be there and you'd be like, first of all, that means it's not spoiling anything. But also, it means that if you happen to be here, you're watching a one-of-a-kind performance just off the cuff from Ogami. Like, that's so cool. Ooh, that was 10 years ago. Oh boy, are we gonna do some Ogami backstory? Yes, we are! Yes, we are! We're in the middle of shooting a movie. Ogami was a student back then. He happened to wander into the frame, and the whole crew just froze. His presence was so powerful that he completely upstaged the leads. Okay, so scene 74, supporting role. I hope this is what I'm thinking. Like, they could just, do a little of this and then dip out. But I kind of hope this is the Ogami backstory, because, like, it's gonna be hard to root for him if we don't get a, some level of backstory right off the bat. Like, it can be like Araya, where we got some at the start, but then we got more later on. Or, I guess it wasn't backstory later on necessarily, but we got more, like, focus on him. We got more development from him. So, I think this might be interesting. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, he's just a 15-year-old, no experience, no training, who just kind of, like, walks into acting and becomes amazing. Or not even he becomes amazing, he just is amazing. He's just, like, a literal genius. That's pretty cool. Like, that is legitimately really cool. Then, I guess you also remember what happened after that. How come you keep forcing me to work with all these small fry? Okay. Ah. Alright. So, like, that's why he's so focused on, finding someone to work with. Why he was so enamored with, Kay. I can't believe I forgot the main character's name for a second. But, I guess that must be it. Like, it's not just that, he's bored, but specifically, like, in the past, like, before he went to America, he also was, being intentionally bored, because they were like, oh, let's not give him any, like, good roles. Let's not act against anyone interesting, because he's gonna just upstage them. Why not? I wouldn't hit a woman. You're taking advantage of that. Before he knew it, he was coerced into taking part in rigged auditions. He was forced on a predetermined path. He only got to, right. Yeah, that I can definitely see a little more about why he would hate this. Yeah, they're all standard practices in the country, but Ogami just couldn't accept the status quo. Which, that does make sense. Yeah. Like, they don't want him to upstage, especially, like, older actors or more tenured actors. For just this 15-year-old with no pedigree to just walk on and start, destroying everyone, to steal the spotlight. Like, that would definitely ruffle a lot of feathers. Like, I assume they're going to go more into it, but I can just imagine it's because it's Japan. It's because if you get blacklisted from one agency, everyone else is going to go, oh, if they didn't want him, we shouldn't want him either. Or, like, if he's problematic, then we also don't want someone who is problematic. Yeah, that's Japan. Everyone was afraid to work with an actor who had double-crossed stars. Yeah. Oh, that too, actually. Like, I didn't consider that. I was thinking of it more as a back alley sort of thing. But I guess that also, like, yeah, Japanese people in general are more interested in actors than, I mean, the US is pretty damn interested in actors and in their personal lives and stuff. Like, that's the entire gossip circuits. But I think Japan does care more about, like, the morality of an actor. Whereas with America, it's closer to just, like, they want to know about the actor in general. Which is why so many people can do, like, the good girl gone bad thing, or some other form of crazy, stunts to draw in more attention. Like, you can't quite do that in Japan. And that's the title. I'll play a supporting role for a change, though I assume he didn't. Like, it seems like this arc is going to be the, he's forced to play a supporting role to Kei for the first time arc. Which means that in America, I assume he never played a supporting role. He was just around. He was, he got bored just being with actual stars. Because he kept on quietly overshadowing all of them. Ah. That's such a cool idea, too, because, like, it's, in a shonen series, it's very common to have a character who wants to be the very best, who wants to stand out, who wants to be number one. But for someone to, like, it's not that he even doesn't want to be number one specifically, it's just he doesn't want to be the lead. He wants to be able to finally play a supporting role. He just can't. This country's too small. Everything here is too small. It's a dead-end street. And yeah, see, like, that makes sense. Like, in Japan, that was a toxic reputation. But in America, or just abroad in general, to be, that incredible gifted actor who did nothing wrong, who didn't, like, do drugs or anything, but who was just so good that, he walked out of stars. Like, that is a good selling point. But when I watched him walk away at just 16 years old, he looked awfully lonely to me. And that contrast from, him then to him now, like, even if he's not necessarily playing a supporting role right now to Kei, he's still, like, Kei is finally pushing him. By trying to be a goddess, she's forcing him to, to try and catch up, for once. Or even if he's not, trying to catch up, at the very least, he's having fun with it. Which I guess is the main thing. Shinjuku girl, I mean... Oh, wait, what? Thank you, Kei Yanagi. This will be the first time taking on a supporting role in this country. So, first of all, he's saying in this country, so maybe he did do some supporting roles in the US. Like, he could still be, one of those guys who steals the show, but he isn't the main character, sure. But also, he just straight up said her name. Like, I definitely figured that to be a much later event. Like, he's a very brash person, he's a very rude person. I figured it'd take a lot longer for him to really warm up to her. But, like, he finally respects her. And, I mean, it's weird to say finally, because he respects her, but I didn't expect him to be the kind of character that would respect her, like, in the first act of this, of this arc. Oh, and he's doing it, like, he's turning it into a PR thing. Nice. Also, starring Kei Yanagi with supporting actor Riku Ogami. Holy god, that is really good. I do like this subtle humor in Actage. Like, just the fact that she is, hanging there. Like, we're not really focusing on it, but that is a thing that is happening. Yeah. Yeah, Kei's acting is completely different now. Or not completely different, but there's a whole new element to it. This is starting to be fun, no? Okay, so that was the big A-team stunts. Now the B-team has to do something else. Like, right now, it is, like, it's 100% Ogami's play, and now Ogami himself is saying, hey, this is Kei's play, I'm just the supporting actor. But all of that is based around, the main players. Like, how are these two going to compete against that? Because, first of all, they probably shouldn't, like, they're not supposed to be outs. Even when they are, like, presumably this will be set up so that they do alternate. Like, will they get people coming to their version? Because, like, neither of the big stars are there, even if they are, pretty famous on their own. Oh my god. This is such a cool arc! I mean, this was really crazy because we got Ogami stuff this early. Like I said right here, I wanted I wanted his flashback, but I didn't really think we would get it, or I didn't think we'd go this in depth. I didn't think we'd get his proper motivation, because like it feels so early. But I'm really happy we have it now, because like I understand him more as a person now. Now I get what he'll get out of this arc. Like, it's not just being brought down to size, because like he doesn't need to be brought down to size. He just needs to play a supporting role. Like, he needs someone who is strong enough and who has enough presence to, to make him naturally be in the supporting role. Like, he is just himself. That's the way he acts. But Kei might be someone who can act so big, who can make herself feel so big, that he can feel normal in comparison. Or at the very least, he can feel mythical as opposed to godly. Oh, dude. Actage. So, right in the middle, as always. I really, I'm gonna have to think about, like, switching these out a bit. I am curious to see, like, if I move Actage, like, is it just because it's the first one that causes me to, let it drift down? But I guess not, because as of late, now that I've been thinking more about it, it hasn't always been at the bottom. Like, it's definitely moved around. We'll see. We'll see. For now, though, really good chapter. Not totally sure what we'll do. Like, maybe we'll do a B-Team arc just to, or like, a B-Team mini thing. But, I don't know. I do feel like we are going to trade off and on the two groupings, though. Because, like, there's only so much you can do with a major, with a two-person focus. You can do a fair bit, but, like, with the way that Actage structure things, where, each arc has had a bunch of people, and even if all of them weren't equally important, we still got to jump around, we got to have this, like, full scope. I definitely want the A and B teams to be, like, relatively even in terms of focus. A bit more on the A team, because that's where Kei is, of course. Like, if we're gonna get one whole performance between the both of them, I imagine she's gonna have the, that performance, sure. But I'm hoping that, B team isn't totally left behind, because they're both good actors. Anyways, that's Actage. I'm kind of rambling on. Let's just move on to Black Clover, chapter 213. Everyone's got skedaddle. Get out! The realm is disappearing. Hey, Charmy's back. Oh, what are you talking about? So, does she have amnesia? Like, how does that work? Because, like, it's not like she changed personalities. Like, she might be lying here, actually. But, like, in that moment, she seemed very confused. Like, she still knew who she was, but she was very confused at the fact that she had transformed. So I assume that was all her, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was supposed to be, like, this is a dormant part of her that hasn't really gotten out in a while. Still, it seems like we're definitely waiting to do something with that. Which I'm fine with. Like, this is the elf arc. Or, like, the elf saga, I guess. If we're gonna go on to dwarves or something, we've got some time. We can wait. There's a lot more to do before we go back to Charmy. Wherever yummy things and are, there am I. Oh, whoa. Oh yeah, right. The elves are still rampaging all over the kingdom. Yeah, the kingdom is being destroyed. Like, I don't know. Do they have like a just they call it off flare or something? They're still fighting mindlessly, trapped in that contrived revenge. Okay, so how like it could be a thing of just they have a way to talk to all of them, or to get them all to stop, get them to what is the term for that? Reincarnate, to uncarnate, I guess. Or I guess we could have a couple chapters of just everyone, including the the first Wizard King, including the elves, all like flying around and beating everyone up. That'd be kind of cool. One sword isn't gonna cover all that. Besides, can't use my power. So, okay. With his world tree magic, we can gather all the magic and life force in the kingdom. Okay, sure. Okay, I guess Patry's or not. Yeah, Patry's going back, right? Okay, well, William, do your thing, I guess. Okay, I mean, this is definitely going to have a lot of fallout. Like, we're gonna have to have a couple chapters of, all right, guys, here's how we deal with this. Like, this is how we rebuild. This is how we frame these events. because like they don't want to demonize the elves at this point. Like, if there are any elves that haven't, been annihilated, or even if, some of these elves decide to stick around, like, if they don't get, sent back, like, you would still want to, even if they don't, like, literally, remove everything I just said, even if all the elves leave, I believe that the Clover Kingdom would be amiss if they didn't address the elves and say, like, hey, so we fucked up. The reason why the elves attacked was because of this devil. Or even if they don't say the devil thing, it might just be as simple as, hey, that was accidental, that wasn't meant to be. Please don't feel hardship towards the elves. And people naturally will, sure, but this would be a good way to set the record straight, to make the next generation, not have the same mistakes. Like, especially if we're going to go into other fantasy races as well, it'd be good to lay the groundwork here to, to have the Clover Kingdom be less xenophobic. Okay, I'll link everyone's souls and tell them the truth. All right, good. Okay, so yeah, so Patrick's being like, he's still leaving, but in the moment, like as he's leaving, he's using the power of the tree to talk to everyone and be like, hey guys, guess what? So here's what's going on. Calm your shits. And then meanwhile, their souls are all in the tree, and then Ast is gonna like reincarnate all of them or uncarnate them. Oh man, I really hope they put some effort into this, because this could be a truly beautiful scene. It's the captain of the Golden Dawn spell. Did he save the kingdom? There's gonna be a lot of fallout, and honestly, I don't know how much they might lie about. Because like, I do think William deserves to still be a captain. Like, but at the same time, like, how do you explain that? Or do you? Do you just lie about it? Huh. Oh, the original trio are still around. Okay. Or like, not that they're still around, but like they're going to still be around. Okay, cool. I mean, that's nice. Hopefully if they have the same bodies. Yeah, original bodies don't have souls because they made them in the tubes. So, that makes sense. Like, that means that we can still have elves around in the series, they'll still be allies. I kind of predicted that. It also means that, like, what else am I thinking of? I guess just that they'll be able to help with, like, the mechanics of everything. With the reincarnation, with, like, answering lost secrets, like, hey, what were some of your plans? What kind of magic did you use here? Is there anything here we should be worried about? What weaknesses did you use? How can we plug those up? But I'm pretty happy. I did enjoy fighting with you, Yami Tsukihiro. And of course, she leaves with a quick ship hint. Just enough. Not enough for Yami to get it, but just enough. Okay, I mean, Lumiere is not here because of reincarnation, so presumably, like, he seems a little messed up. I assume he's going to be destroyed, but he should still stick around for longer than, the rest of the elves. Okay, so that was a theory before. I don't think I ever said it just because I'm bad at theory crafting. I don't really want to just restate stuff I see on Reddit. But okay, so he was, yeah, that is the actual Licht. So okay, so that he was, like, inhabited by Licht's son. Oh, and that's actually a really neat parallel that I didn't think of. That, for a brief time, had Licht's son inside of him. Like, he borrowed that power. Maybe he'll still have some, like, lingering side effects or something, even if he doesn't keep it. But then also, like, Asta got his grimoire. Like, they both got something from Licht. Thank you, mages of the current Clover Kingdom. That was a fast chapter, but it was a very emotional one. Not my favorite, but it was really good. God, like, how do I rank this against Akdaj? Because Akdaj was also a very, like, emotional chapter, and I don't want to discredit that. I do think that, like, Akdaj has to be above it. Because I really like Black Clover, but at the same time, like, this wasn't that emotional to me. I care for Licht, I care for Patry a bit, but I'm not too attached to the other elves. So, like, seeing all of them leave, like, there's a general sense of, they're all free, but at the same time, they caused a lot of atrocities. Like, even if they didn't mean to, even if they were being led astray, like, they still did it. So it didn't hit me that hard. But, like, it was still really beautiful. And I think the anime could make it, like, 10 times more beautiful. Like, I didn't cry or anything, but I think I could have gotten a little sniffly. If there was a little more focus, if there was, some music or something. Anyways, good chapter of Black Clover. I imagine there's not a whole lot else to do apart from just, going into the epilogue of this arc and the restructuring and stuff, the rebuilding. So I hope we do that. I don't want to just, like, screw around on other stuff. I want to get into that rebuilding, into that, like, explaining to the public what happens. all that good, world buildy, arc endy stuff. I want that. So, good Black Clover chapter. Let's move on to the Last Saiyuki, chapter 20. Oh, that's a good sentiment. Yeah, no matter what power she has, Koharu is still Koharu to me. Like, she's done such a flip. I guess just because we've had that arc, because she has, addressed her emotions. She's more willing to be open, especially with, I keep on thinking of him as Ryutaro, but that's not it. Ryunosuke. Like Ryunosuke and Koharu. So, man, to be honest, I didn't want any outsiders, but it's okay. You're able to enter because Koharu trusts you. Okay, so Kei's not gonna, attack her or anything, or, wipe her memories. So, okay. Good. The truth you will learn here is a heavy burden for one person to carry, even for Koharu, even for you. So what is Gohaku's plan? What do they need to know? Okay. He wasn't there before, right? No, definitely not. So, okay, there's a Kappa now. Is this Kawamatsu? No, the children were careless and died by accident, but the villagers didn't think so. They were scared by the mystery surrounding the numerous children's deaths. They wanted a reason they could accept. They decided that the cause of all the children's deaths was this Kappa and killed it. Okay, sure. So, was this Kappa alive, though? Or is this like the creatures born of Mo? Okay, whoa! It's a Yamato no Orochi, an 8-headed dragon. Okay, cool. Nice that that's just outside. Sure. Oh, that's a really cool... I really like the monster design in the series. It's so distinctive and so weirdly different. I'm really glad that most of the monsters don't look like you'd expect. They all have their own weird little twists. That is the monsterization of the fear of the yearly flooding of the He River. By massing a lot of fears into one point, humans can even monsterize a natural disaster. Okay. Right. After the Kappa was killed, the marsh became a barren land. Killing the Yamato no Orochi, the topography changed. Yeah. That's kind of what we were talking about before. We knew that, more or less, but why is she restating it? Why is that so important? Basically, all monsters were essentially created to make humans happy. So the followers of chaos that create these monsters aren't enemies of humanity, nor are they evil. Okay, so that does recontextualize things a lot. On this page, I wasn't totally sure what we were getting at, but this page, that's a way different way of looking at it. Because, yeah, in the end, it is good for the heroes in the sense, yeah, every time they defeat a monster, something good happens. It's not just that they defeated a monster, it's that, that monster was the manifestation of something bad. With the one that was possessing Ryunosuke's friend, that was less clear-cut, because clearly that was his friend's fear. And, that he wouldn't have been scared if he didn't hear the story in the first place. But with something like this, I get the idea. It can be used for good. Right. Sure. That guy was kind of nice, sort of, but they've also killed a lot of humans. The story of Saiyuki is generally known. Most of the enemies Sanzo and his group faced are heavenly beings, right? I really need to read Saiyuki at some point, Okay, so this is Gutenberg. Gutenberg's never let me down. Let's see how this goes. So this is The Journey to the West, Volume 1. Okay, so are there multiple volumes? Also, boy oh boy, 1,300 pages. Assuming these are yeah, okay, so you do have poems, but then you also have paragraphs. So might not be as long as I initially thought, but it's still gonna be long. Oh, okay. Here ends The Journey to the West. I know, I just spoiled myself on the ending, but I wanted to see, is this, does it say end of Volume 1, read Volume 2 or something? But okay, so that is the whole thing. It's real long, but, I might check it out. It clearly is going to be important to the Last Saiyuki. Sure, they're going to explain, everything that is relevant, but still, it's also just a classic. It's a Chinese classic. I should read it just for the sake of, literature. That's because God deliberately wanted Sanzo and his group to suffer. The purpose of the journey was actually training to gain enlightenment. Okay. Okay, so Master Dotsu did, he created the followers of chaos. By causing humans to suffer, they made more people closer to becoming true humans, in a sense training them. The whole purpose of this was to defeat the last monster in the Tales of Momo. Okay, so, it is inherently, they are two sides of the same coin. And even if the followers of chaos are, committing crimes, even if they're doing horrible things that the monster hunters have to defeat, it is fundamentally for a good purpose. They're making the monster hunters stronger, and also they're making more of them. Or even the ones that don't become monster hunters, a lot of them do stick around as just informants. So, the Tales of Momo is also known as the 100 Tales. That is, oh boy, that's the Dr. Stone crossover. Just add that into my, list of evidence for a potential, like, ultra all jump is one story thing. Okay. It's a ceremony that materializes true fear at the end of the story. Earth has, until now, defeated the last monster in the story 2 times. Okay. The materialized monster is a natural disaster that can destroy the planets. The first story was called the Ramayana. Okay, sure. Is the Ramayana a Japanese myth? No, it's a Sanskrit epic. Okay, I've heard of the Mahabharata, but I haven't heard of the Ramayana. And I haven't read either of them, so... Interesting, though. Like, it's cool that for a story that's all about, like, other stories, like, Saiyuki is in the title, it draws a lot of, from the Saiyuki in general, and, like, the story itself, it involves a lot of other stories. Like, for that, I do find it really cool that they are reaching back to, other big epics. Like, it feels a little chuny, but at the same time, I think the presentation is really good. Okay, so Saiyuki is, like, that was the second story. That is Journey to the West as we know it in a way. But, okay. I guess that means, like, the story, the title of this series is The Last Saiyuki. So this is most likely going to be, the last time they ever have to do it. The third one is the one you will go up against. The last monster of the Tales of Momo is the fierce winds of hell. It can disintegrate all of Earth in an instant. It's a wind disaster. Okay, so even then, that feels weird that we're doing lightning, then fire, then winds. Like, it feels like we should be using... there should be more elements in the future, then. If... But I'm probably missing, like, a really big, reference or something. You were born because we were able to defeat our monsters. Though if the followers of Chaos hadn't made humans stronger, we probably wouldn't have stood a chance. Right. Oh, this is gonna be so weird. Because that also means, like, they have to allow the followers of Chaos to continue putting humans in danger. And, I mean, Gohaku here seems to be implying that they also need to work with, like, literally with the followers of Chaos at times. Oh, man, that's such a weird dynamic. Because, like, that means they'll still most likely be antagonists, but now they're antagonists that we understand, that aren't doing things just for shits and giggles. Like, that's really interesting. Plus, like, this seems to be, like, the big endgame. All of the monsters are from Tail 90 and higher than Tales of Momo, or like any we've encountered before, right? In Saiyuki, there's said to be a final trial true humans must overcome. If it's on a made-up story, that means this planet is on the brink of death. The true human who must overcome this trial is the planet itself. That's a fucking line! Oh my god! The true human who must overcome this trial is the planet itself. Like, that statement is so powerful to me. I can't fully explain why. I guess just because, true human has had such a strict definition up to this point. But now we're like, no, it is a metaphor. And, the real true human was the planet all along. But okay, if we don't monsterize it and defeat it, we all die. Basically, we're all born in a hell of an era. Okay, when the natural disaster is about to hit, the Earth will want the humans to save it. They'll create a certain stone. Okay. Hanuman and I, and Koharu were all born from this egg. We who are born from the stone truth have two things we must do. The first is to open all of humanity's Mo. Right! Oh my god! Oh my god, that's the flash forward then! Like, it's not that Koharu gets kidnapped. Or, like, that was my theory, like, the entire time, was that at some point, near the end of the series, or, during a big arc, Koharu's gonna get kidnapped by the, by the followers of Chaos, and then they'll force her to open up everyone's Mo. But no, like, that's her purpose. That's the point. If they want to defeat the final boss, like, that does a 180 on the entire flash forward. Like, no, opening all of humanity's Mo is going to be a big, important thing. It's probably going to be something that Greenosuke, like, consents to. Something where he might have to be the one to convince her to do it. Second, find a powerful male Noibo user, Sai. Together with him, we need to defeat the final monster. But Sai is definitely a follower of Chaos. Which I guess makes sense, because the followers of Chaos would know, or, some of them at the least would know, like, yeah, we're doing this for the greater good. But Sai didn't feel like that. But I guess he there's nothing saying that he wasn't. It's not like he was saying anything inherently evil. It was more just, he was talking about, that he wanted to meet Koharu, that they were once the same person, and that he wanted to take her away. Like, at the time, that was evil, but I guess that doesn't necessarily have to be bad. If we know that, he also, like, he's using his powers ultimately for good, or for the preservation of humanity, if nothing else. Even if he is willing to have people killed, like, yeah. It was just selfishness. Okay. Master Dotsu had already prepared Sai, but unlike the one and only K, any male can become Sai. Okay. So this is very clearly the the crown that Master Dotsu wears. That's most likely, but it says a true human and a human. I'm sorry if this isn't too reactive, but like these aren't just bombshells. They're like not explosive bombshells. They're like thinky bombshells. So as I understand it, so in order to create the egg, I assume the egg has to be created like the same way that a monster gets incubated in someone's mo. So she had to suffer. Like, the entire reason why she died most likely was because she had to create this egg that then hatched and became Koharu. Which, first of all, does mean, as we said before, that, like, Koharu and Ryunosuke are in fact, like, blood relatives. But that also means that, like, maybe not blood necessarily, but, like, essentially, his mother died during childbirth in order to bring Koharu into this world. Oh my god, that's so, like this chapter changed the entire series. It's just a different series. Or like yeah, because now like there's going to be a big conflict, against maybe taking down the followers of chaos, because you shouldn't take them down. Even you should destroy their monsters, but you can't take them down because what they're doing is inherently for humanity's benefits. But also like there's so much here. My brain feels worn out. There's so much. Like, I do like this idea so much. Like, the series can go on forever like this, but at the same time, like, as they put in this, dynamic of, yes, the series could go on forever. It could be the agents of chaos monsterizing potential dangerous threats before they become, world-ending, or become, before they become horrible, and then the monster hunters taking out those threats once they've manifested. Like, you could do that for an entire series. But at the same time, it feels like they're finally setting up the end game as well of like, yeah, like this is the final disaster. This is the time when Kara is going to be on TV and she's going to use her powers to open up everyone's mo. Like, holy crap. And the crazy thing is, I don't know when this is going to happen. Like, I don't know when the series will end, because I don't think it's being canceled or anything, but it feels like this could happen at any point. Like, the fact that we were bringing this up so early, and it does feel like it's going to be the end game. Like, oh man. I did hear recently that Hinamaru Zumo got its final chapter, so, like, in this issue. So, I don't know, maybe they are, like, canceling more series, but I don't feel like this is a cancellation. This feels a lot like The Last Saiyuki in general, where just every chapter adds to the world, it reveals something more. It is constant progression. Oh my god. I mean, it's 100% number one for now. Not a whole lot of competition, but holy crap. What a good chapter. What a good chapter. Please listen to the weekly manga discussion. I don't think we're going to do this like right next chapter or next week, because we've got a big rotation. There's a thing we do. We go through all the series once before we get onto it again, and we did Last Saiyuki pretty recently. But like next time, I'm gonna have a lot to talk about. I don't have a lot to talk about right now. I'm just kind of rambling on. But holy crap. Next week especially, like next week at the very least, I'll have more time, I'll have thought about it more, I'll be able to give more coherent thoughts. But for now, I am just blown away. What a good chapter. What a chapter of The Last Saiyuki. Okay, with that, let's move on to We Never Learn, chapter 120. But yeah, I'm curious to see when We Never Learn is going to end. Like, in what season? Because right now, like, it's been like there is this like relatively clear progress of how the series is going, like what seasons they go through. They don't really skip a lot, or they do skip a bit, but it's enough to just keep on like a concert forward motion. I guess also like them graduating is a big important thing. So they just wanted escapism. Naruyuki, how could you? How could you crush their spirits? Also, holy crap, I just noticed that it was Ogata who said, how about reading the room a little? Ogata, of all people. So this will be the last time we meet this year. Okay, yeah, shit. So, I figured it was going to be some sort of a fake out. Like, I didn't think it would be one of the characters. That's true, though. Like, for everyone else, like, they will be coming back for their final semester. Or, like, just, I don't remember. Are they in their final years? I think so. But, like, she's going to Australia, so this is literally her last time ever. Well, since I'm here, I may as well just put in 5 minutes and do what I can. Nah, that's cool. Like, I've never done this myself. I used to do, like, recycling at school, but I was never, like, I don't think any school here has the students, like, do janitorial duties. But, like, I do like that. I think there is a coziness to it in Japanese series. Oh, boy. Full blast cleaning blitz mode. You know, it did just strike me that there's more cleaning in the series than there was in gal cleaning. Like, it's not like this is a cleaning focused series, but there is a surprising amount of cleaning. It's been more than an hour. You said you were going to meet up with us. Oh my. But yeah, he's just going to help. Nope. No silly rom-com cleaning. Nariyuki is legit. Nariyuki's been at Sensei's house. He has no time to waste for namby-pamby cleaning techniques. He goes full out. If you... I mean, you gotta teach her. You gotta teach her, like, hey, don't just ram it down. Don't just go wild with your hands. You gotta be gentle. You gotta use less pressure. Oh boy, here comes the water. My butt's all wet. I've never been a fan of this. Like, even on guys. Oh boy, this might be a bit much. So, feel free to skip ahead if this is a bit too TMI. But, like, I have seen art of, you know, like, bedwetting and stuff. Or, you know, like, you know, people peeing themselves. And I don't like it personally, but I can see the appeal of that. What I can't see the appeal of is something like this, where it's just the butt. Because, like, it feels gross, and it looks kind of gross. Like, you can kind of see through it, but at the same time, it looks weird. It looks like you've done something bad. Like, you know, it looks like you've done something very gross. Whereas, like, even if you're looking at, like, wet stains from the front, even that, I think it has more of a... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I feel like this is a tangent I shouldn't be going on. But basically, I don't understand the appeal of this. I get the appeal if it's from the front, I don't get the appeal if it's from the back. If you like it from the back, if you like this shot, let me know. Please explain. It's okay, I have my swimsuit on. Why did you have your swimsuit on for the year-end assembly? Uruka, what are you doing? Oh no, oh no! No, no! But okay, now they're properly soaked. Oh my. I mean, I do like this scene. It is very intimate, while at the same time, like, it makes sense why they would still be stuck in this position. Oh no! Oh no! How long have you been standing here? I'm interested to see if the Wing Girls are going to show up once Uruka leaves. Like, I am hoping, fingers crossed, no take-backsies. I want Uruka to leave. I want her to go to Australia, because that has been her arc. But once she goes to Australia, I'm curious to see, like, what they'll do. Like, will they completely leave the series, or will we have Uruka arcs? Like, we could have arcs where it's just Uruka on the phone or something, and, you know, we have misunderstandings that way, and we have these girls, like, still trying to, you know, to keep the flame of love alive or something. Like, that would be really cool. But they showed up too. They had the same idea. They wanted to clean up as well. Don't be silly, you're part of the gang. I'm glad they're helping, but how come we're separated? I mean, yeah, like, they're all kind of, you know, half naked in their underwear, sort of. I get it. I get why he'd be feeling pretty weird. Well, in that case, don't look at anyone else and just focus on me. Smooth move. Good move. I think that's pretty strong. Are those two the only ones who didn't notice what they just said to each other? I do like that, you know, the good audience surrogate movement of just, hey, what was that? How in the world could they be that dumb? How did they not notice? That's not a thing that two friends say to each other. How did they not notice? Because, like, Uruka spent an hour away. Nariyuki, like, to clean the entire pool, assuming they did, in fact, clean the entire pool. Like, they did make it very sparkly. Or no, that's supposed to be the, you know, the happy sparkles of love. Never mind. But, like, that must have taken at least another hour. Were these two just, like, sitting in the library, you know, studying on their own, waiting for their friends to come back? What in the world? Overall, good chapter, but, like, this is some fierce competition. Like, if I were still reading Samurai 8 and Tokyo Shinobi Squad, I'd be able to be like, yeah, those are definitely at the bottom all the time, but now that I've trimmed it down to just the good series, or the series I like, I should say, I don't know exactly... I mean, it's not that I don't know where to put things, it's just I feel weird about letting anything drop to the bottom now, because now I don't have the easy to pick on, like, this is the rough series thing. Like, they're all so good. This was a kind of bog standard We Never Learned chapter. Like, I liked it, but at the same time, just because I'm laughing, it doesn't mean that I'm enjoying it more than another series like The Last Saiyuki, where I didn't laugh at all, but it was a really good chapter. Like, I liked it for a completely different reason. And the more I do these weekly Shonen Jump reactions, the more I'm learning about, you know, how to compare these things, and how, for me, like, how do I personally rank different genres. So I can say overall, like, this was a good chapter. I did enjoy it, but at the same time, I don't think it was the best. Like, even compared to Black Clover, like, maybe I'll put Black Clover under. Because, like, the Black Clover chapter was good, but it also, like, I guess it wasn't it was something a little special, but, like, it didn't have as much of an impact, like, emotionally as it probably could have. So, I think that's fair. I think this is fair. So that's a very slim set of pre-recorded series, and everything else is in the live stream. So I'll meet you tomorrow. I will meet you on Monday. I've got the week off right now, so I guess by the time you watch this, everything will be out anyways. I don't need to explain myself. Catch you in a few seconds. Bye for now. Catch you there on the flip side. Meow meow. Okay, hopefully this is working now. What is going on? Anyways, let's just do this. Let's just act as if people are watching. Hello everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Weekly Shonen Jump. No it isn't. This is One Piece. No it isn't, it's actually Chainsaw Man. Why is this not working? Hey Damage, okay, there we are. Okay, wicked. So, I was supposed to stream earlier, but I had some miscommunication with, yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's start off with Chainsaw Man, Chapter 31, The Future Rules. Interesting title. I actually don't know what this implies. I mean, it sounds like a catchphrase. I mean, it depends on what meaning we have for rules. Do we mean the future rules as in the future is awesome? Or is it the future rules as in, like, these are the rules you have to abide by from now on? Because I guess the latter makes sense. I was bringing that up as if it didn't make sense, but no. Aki we're going to contract with a new devil. Presumably he has future rules that he'll have to live by. Or, like, because there's only so much you can sacrifice of yourself. If this is a really powerful devil, it can't be like you lose a limb every time you use it, because that's not very sustainable. So Sensei's walking up. Oh boy. I mean, did they just go out and buy glasses? Because the outfits are, I mean, this is more or less just Denji's work uniform. And I guess Power also, she has the outfit. She usually doesn't wear a tie, but I guess she probably just borrowed one. But, so, these are their 200 IQ modes, I assume. I don't know what Operation Super Smart is going to be, though. Like, they've got to have tactics, but I don't know what counts as tactics for them. They're, First of all, oh man, I love this direction. It's so cool. Like, anything where there is a split in a panel, but it's also literally split in, the real life area that we're being shown is the coolest thing in the world to me. I love that. Okay. So, even though it was going through a door, he was somehow still able to sense it. Oh, wait. Is this the same thing as this? Like, did they put the bottles on the ceiling, I guess, or like on the next floor? Yeah, they did. Oh my god, that's really cool! I mean, we haven't really seen Power use excess blood before, but that's presumably possible. Like, she could go to a blood bank or maybe to like a butcher shop and just get extra blood. Okay, so Denji's now sneaking up from behind. God damn, this is actually, like, it's not a 200 IQ plan, but it's way smarter than I thought they were going for. Like, color me surprised, seriously. Wait, is that it? Is Denji out? From one slap? Like, that wasn't even a punch. Oh, no, never mind. That was a kick. The angle made it difficult, but yeah, okay, I see. Okay, so that was still her blood. I don't know if that's, like, does that imply that she can only use her own blood? I mean, no, she can't, because she has been able to help people who are bleeding out, so she can control blood in general. It's just, for whatever reason, she chose to use her own blood in those bottles. Like, that was the two weaknesses they had. Like, Power, presumably, if she didn't tire herself out right there, she could have kept on using the blood. And then Denji really just, like, that was a good tactic. He just needed to land the blow. Wait, what? What? God damn. Sensei is pretty rough. God damn. I mean, that feels like an extremely low blow, but I do get what he's saying. Like, don't trust a hunter. if you're in a fight and someone says, alright, that's it, we're leaving, don't just assume they're going to walk away and not double back. Fair enough. Okay, so now we're switching to Aki. Oh, I'm so curious. Like, how does this work? How do they get more devils? Also, sorry, my chat wasn't really updating, so I'm just reading the current chats. Okay, so power can only freely manipulate her own blood. Okay. Yeah, because I guess, like, if she could control, like, Denji's blood or just, like, random animal blood, that would make her kind of broken. She'd basically just be a waterbender at that point. Actually, at that point, she would just be able to, like, bend the blood in other people, which would be extremely broken. So, okay, that's a good way of balancing her out. Sorry, you just missed the 200 IQ fight scene. So this is where Devils Capture Life and Public Safety are locked up. Okay, so they just have... But then, how do they, like, get them to agree to a contract? Is it as simple as, like, you're locked up and now you'll starve to death if you don't have contracts? Or is it something else? Because, like, some of the contracts involve just, like, teleporting the devil to you. Like, not just having a body part from it, or just having, like, an ability from it. It's, like, having the whole thing. Though I guess, like, it depends on how extensive contracts are. If they have to specifically, like, lock in, like, hey, for this fingernail or whatever, you will be teleported to my location, you'll fight for me, you won't escape, you won't try to attack me. Like, I guess that makes sense. Or that could work. Oh yeah, the random girl that, gave Aki that letter. Wait, what buddy would this be? Like, Aki doesn't really have friends. So these are letters my sister... Okay, wait. Did I misread that? Oh, this is probably Himeno, then. Because, like, I was confused because, he said my buddy's younger sister, so buddy, I just automatically assumed guy for some reason. And then here, like, she said, these are letters my sister sent me. That screwed me up for a bit. Okay, not hurting for food or anything. You don't have to send me rice anymore. Oh, man. This always gets me. Like, it's such a specific Japanese thing of sending someone rice. Because rice is very cheap, and it's also very heavy. Like, not absurdly heavy, but it's heavy enough that... Like, it's heavy enough and cheap enough that sending someone rice is, like... I guess really only works in Japan because their, post system is subsidized. Because, like, in Canada, if you were to do that, you'd probably be paying more for the postage than you would be for the rice. Unless you're doing it, like, through Amazon or something. Eye patch girl. Come on, Zaku. Even I remembered her name, for once. But yeah, I made Aki get some piercings. He was really annoyed. Like, that confirms it. It's definitely Himeno. I don't think I can do it after all. How can I get Aki to quit? He'll just brush me off with some non-answer again. Like, that's pretty heavy, to know that not only did she die for him, not only did she die, sacrificing herself to try and save him, but from this point, like, whenever it is she wrote this letter, she didn't want him to be here anymore. He joined up, to destroy the Gun Devil, but he was also there in part because of her. Like, they supported each other, and to know that, oh, she was trying to get me out. She knew this was a bad place for me to be. Like, that's gotta make him at least think about leaving. I know he won't, but it's gotta, like, raise some questions. In here is the future devil! Holy crap, okay! So we're going full conceptual. Like, I'm surprised they were able to capture the future devil of all things. Although, actually, what if they didn't? Like, what if it just walked into the jail cell because it itself saw the future and was like, oh yeah, I get kidnapped, or I get captured, so I'm gonna be here now. So 2 people in public safety have a contract with this one. One of them gave half their lifespan, the other gave it both eyes, their sense of taste, and their sense of smell. I mean, half their lifespan that would be big and not so big for Aki, because Aki has 2 years left, so that would be just 1 year. But at the same time, he only has 2 years left, so that is, half of his life remaining. And then this, like, I assume it's, like, thematically tied to it. Like, this is very literally, I'm giving you half my future. The other is more like, I'm giving you my future ability to, like, interact with the worlds. So what could Aki give a devil? Like, we know surprisingly very little about Aki. He still gives off this feeling of being the normal one. Even though he is a bit insane, as everyone here is. Like, I don't know enough about him to figure out, like, what he would be able to sacrifice. Like, it can't really be anything relating to Himeno. I don't understand what his future is. To me, Aki's future is working with the rest of the team and then killing the Gun Devil. I don't see anything else, like, left for him, especially because he only has 2 years left. Like, he has very little future remaining. So what could he possibly give the Future Devil? Aha, okay, so that's our title drop. The future rules! The future rules! Future rules! Well, this is definitely a Fujimoto ending to a chapter, in that I don't know what the fuck this means, but at the same time, it is very evocative. Like, this is an ending that will stick with me, as, that is the Chainsaw Man chapter ending. So it's very, like, tree-shaped, which I assume is, like, it's a sign of growth, it's a sign of, these are vines, too. It's very, like, wild-focused. It also has, like, the traditional horns of, what's his name? The hunter god. He shows up a lot in, like traditional European mythology. He's the leader of the Wild Hunt. Fuck, I forgot his name. But he gives me that vibe. Like, it's the vibe of a being of vitality. The future devil or the past devil? Honestly, I'd say probably the future devil. Like, in terms of fear, like in terms of how much people worry about it, I don't think people worry that much about the past. Like, I do. People do. There's a lot of, the past is there. I hate it. I regret it. I feel really awful about what happened in the past. I'm worried about it. I'm worried it'll come back. But even then, a lot of that is, like, it's more regretful than fear. And a lot of it is based around, like, what might happen as a result of the past, which is inherently the future. Whereas with the future, you have, things from the past coming back. You have new, completely unexplored threats. You have the fear of failure, the fear of tragedy, the death. Like, death itself is inherently tied into the future. I feel like there's a lot there. Like, the future devil seems insanely powerful in that regard. Hyper time devil is where it's at. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine all sorts of crazy powers that Aki could get here. It just comes down to, what can he possibly give the future devil? Because he is a man with no future. Although, actually, what if it's something else? What if it's, like, this is gonna sound real weird, but what if he has to lengthen the amount of time it takes for him to, like, kill the gun devil? That's, like, so every time he uses the power of the future devil, like, more time is added to the gun devil's lifespan, or something like that. Because I could see that being something that Aki would actually consider, like, a very heavy price. Because clearly, he doesn't care about sacrificing himself. He's fine with losing, fingernails, skin. The Fox Devil used to take that kind of thing. He's fine with taking years of his life off. He's very self-sacrificial. So what he has to give up has to be something that isn't either himself being sacrificed, or it has to be something that reverses his progress. Which I could see, like, one fear of the future is fear that what happens in the future will erase what you have right now. What if it gives him a future? That would be really interesting as well. Because part of it, like, part of his self-destruction might be the fact that he is, like, he doesn't really want a future anymore. Like, he's done, he gave up, he doesn't give a damn anymore. All he wants in life is now to kill the gun devil and then likely die in the process. So I could see the future devil, like, forcing him to have a future. God, oh man. There's so much possibility there. So, this is basically the exact kind of chapter I've wanted ever since, this arc started. Because it's 50-50. It's half Denji and Powie shenanigans, which, the Denji Powie team is the greatest. I do love them. They're definitely at, like, 180 IQ right now. I'd give them that. Before they were at, like, 50, now they're at 80. It's gonna take a while before they get to 200. But, like, I'm completely fine with just this. Like, just a training arc of them getting incrementally smarter and better at fighting. Meanwhile, like, Aki can be the one who handles all the, like, world-level developments. I also do want to see, like, a third faction, perhaps, of what Makima's doing. Like, all the other, dissolved parties coming back together, like, as she founds her own, like, her own super party, her own super team. Because we're gonna have to see those guys, like, at some points. And I feel like we can't just do arcs with all of them. Because there's gonna be a bunch of them, like, across all of the teams. Even if it's just one person, that's still 5 new characters. And you gotta establish them really well to make them not feel like throwaways. They're just gonna die. God, I mean, because because the future devil is a very conceptual devil, I could see it being much more personal, like more of a tell me your dreams thing. Like, actually, I guess that's a little too close to Denji. Can a devil give you depression as a trait? I mean, I feel like that'd be much closer to, like, the actually, could that be the case? because it is like you're giving up something, like you're giving up your happiness. I wonder if he could trade his vendetta to kill the Gun Devil in exchange for something. Like that feels like something he would have to do, like to an associate of the Gun Devil. Like in exchange for your grudge, I'll give you this power. You mean Cream Starter? Or was Firestarter a different one? Anyways, we're getting off topic. Let's move on. This was a good chapter of Chainsaw Man. For the record, we are currently at Last Saiyuki, Actage, We Never Learned, Black Clover, in that order. So this chapter was pretty good. It wasn't standout, though. Like, we just had a couple very standout chapters of Chainsaw Man. So I feel like I've recalibrated. I understand what I like and what I don't like. And it's not that I disliked anything from this. It's just, it wasn't an amazing chapter. It was, like, mid-tier. So I'd probably put it below Actage. Like, it's either below or above Actage. It's not above Last Saiyuki. I'm gonna give it, let's say above for now. If I regret it, I'll change it, but I think that's fair for now. Alright, next is The Promised Neverland, Chapter 143. Eliminates. But yeah, I guess for those of you who don't know, I dropped Samurai 8 because I don't like it. I dropped Tokyo Shinobi Squad because it wasn't really doing anything for me. I'm still going to like read Samurai 8 casually though. Like Tokyo Shinobi Squad, I'll pick back up from where I last left it if it turns out like if people end up really liking it. Because right now it does seem very lukewarm all around. Whereas with Samurai 8, I'm not getting into the vibe of the series properly. And because of that, like I don't find it valuable to keep on reading it. Okay, so we've got Emma. Well, this is just, day and nights. I was gonna say this is kind of cool, but it isn't. They fucked this up. This is not this isn't mirrored. Like, this is not the reflection of the title. They just turned it backwards. I mean, I'll give them that. That's kind of cool. I don't think it was really worth it. It wasn't worth the extra effort because it just looks worse. Also, I am reading Yui Kamio, but like I'm not doing it on the stream because again, I had very little to say about it, and now that it's doing stuff, like there's a lot of stuff going on in Yui Kamio, I still don't have much to say about it. I think it's interesting in a meta sense, but like if you check out the weekly manga discussion podcast featuring the Yui Kamio segments feature Donut and I, and in those we talk about Yui Kamio for like 5 minutes, and then Shonen Jump as a whole for 15 minutes. That's because like there's stuff going on, but I have so very little to say about it when I read it myself. Oh, yeah, WMD is donuts, I believe. I sure hope so. Anyways, where were we last time? Oh, right, this. How could I have forgotten this? But yeah, what I want is for all children in the farms to go to the human world, and I also want to make it impossible for anyone to travel between the two worlds. As I said before, I feel like this is a flawed wish. It depends on how it is done. Because as I said last week, there are adults in the human world, and all you need are some guys and some girls, and you can make more children. Also, like, presumably, if they are, like, doing in vitro fertilization, they like, this wouldn't teleport the cum out of, like, Gracefield. It wouldn't teleport the eggs out. Like, because those aren't children. I know it's a pretty hardline stance, but I personally don't believe that cum is children. Like, I don't know if they're going to address that, or if, like, because Gargablarg does seem to be a reasonable person. It might be as simple as, he hears that, and then he goes, alright, but this is what you really want, right? Or like, hey, I'll close the loopholes for you because you're sacrificing something very important to you. Like, in exchange for that, I'll follow the spirit of your request, not the law of it. Or something. I don't know if the Adams are children. I assume so. But, like, I can't get a grip on their ages. I mean, I get, because they're mutated, I guess they probably are like, like 2-year-olds or something that are just super big. The reward I want is your coochie. What is he gonna ask for? Is your... Okay, so we don't get to hear it. I mean, you could also read it as, the reward I want is your, and then he doesn't say anything. And then Emma's just waiting, and then she goes, what? No, what? What do you mean? Finish your sentence. Like, the phrasing is specifically, the reward that I want is your. So, my original thought was that it was going to be something like, you've got to kill Norman. Or, Like the image I had in my mind was, you need to sacrifice Norman to me. So like, take the rose and either like stab him in the heart or like talk to him and have to say like, hey Norman, in order to save everyone, I need to put this rose in you, or you need to put it in yourself. But because he said I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's sacrificing the other kids. It has to be something that is inherently Emma's. I want your kindness. Boy, oh boy, this is actually bleeding really fluidly into the Chainsaw Man discussion. Because yeah, like, it could be something physical, but it could also be something metaphysical. It could be a concept. Like, and it seems like Gargablarg does like it when it's something that hurts the person, or it's something that is a sacrifice for that person specifically. Like, the first Rattree, whose name I still don't remember, sorry, like, he wanted to just end everything, be done with it, have it all be over. And in exchange, he had to sacrifice himself and, his entire clan as gatekeepers. They had to stay, like, as a part of the system forever. So, it might be kindness? I could see that. It could be freedom. I could see it as just, everyone gets to leave except for Emma. Like, Emma has always been the person who's been like, yeah, I could leave if I needed to. Like, we could do a small escape, but I'm going to take everyone. Everyone is going to leave. Like, she has been sort of self-sacrificial, but not really. Because even though she's willing to take the risks, she's also the kind of person who doesn't take risks and intends to kill herself. Like, she always expects to come out of things alive. She wants to get out, and she wants to get out with everyone else. So this could be a really, like, interesting reversal of, you are the one person who does not get to leave. In exchange for everyone else, including, like, closing all the loopholes and stuff, you alone are never allowed to go to the human worlds with your friend. Like, that'd be pretty cool. I want your journey that was in your heart all along. Holy shit! Yeah, you're right! She did say that, didn't she? Because then, like, I also think, like, my whole thing about, like, can you teleport out the sperm? Can you teleport out the adults? Like, that is all contingent on, like, an evil genie theory, or, following the absolute letter of the law. But if what Gargablarg wants is to leave Emma isolated, then I think that, like, he would, like, get rid of all the adults. He would get rid of all the sperm. Like, he would make sure that even if Emma goes crazy at some point and tries to, like, impregnate herself or, like, start up the labs and get more humans, like, she absolutely cannot do it. Because that would also force her to admit, like, can she live entirely with demons? Like, she cares about Sonju and Mujika as people, sure. But is she willing to completely assimilate with them? Is she willing to live her life with all these demons who do inherently find her, like, an attractive piece of meat that they want to eat? Like, is she that accepting? Is she willing to live among demons for the rest of her life until her natural death? Okay, let's move on. Like, I still have thoughts, but again, this feels very Chainsaw Man-esque, so I don't want to keep on going needlessly. Let's finish the chapter, at least. So, the big question is really, like, how is this going down? Because we know there's a bunch of Samurai Adams around. We don't exactly know where. Presumably Jin is, like, having them tail the kids, but, just far enough that they can't see them. Which is extremely wild, because how do you get Samurai Adams to be stealthy? But sure, it's happening. The big question is, like, do they just, like, come in and accidentally kill Mujika? Do they, like, find a way to do it stealthily? Or do they just rock up and say, hey, we're killing her? I was gonna say, like, maybe that's the horse, but I guess horse footprints would be much further apart. Although, I guess that could be, like, the horse touching its own hoofprints, maybe. Oh, okay. And yeah, that does make sense. Like, Sonju and Mujika did teach the children about how to hide their own traces. So, of course, like, they would be hiding their own traces. And at the same time, like, Dawn Gilda would know how to find those traces because they do it themselves. They know what to look for. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Oh, boy. We get this, like... I appreciate that this is a staple of Promised Neverland. The sudden, scary shot of a person. Most, notably with Mom. But I really like that it doesn't happen constantly. I feel like it happens less than once per volume. Like, it's enough that I think of it as a staple of the series, but at the same time, whenever it happens, it does freak me out a little bit. Like, it doesn't feel overplayed. Okay, so what's the plan? Let's see what Vincent told him. Once you find the evil blooded, the first thing you need to do is notify Jin and his group. Okay. Right. You can't send up a smoke signal. Sure, fine. Emma's done it a couple times. Like, remember when, Emma and Ray are like talking, and Ray's like, "Hey, you haven't really given up, have you?" And then we get the scary Emma eyes. We got it then. We got it once in Goldie Ponds. I want to say that was like, was it Violet's? We've definitely gotten the crazy eyes a couple times. Krone, sure. Like, I guess her eyes feel very different. Like, they're not like super shrunken, but we do have the same setup of, completely normal, and then sudden scary panel. Like the jump scare, I guess. The jump scare that isn't monstrous, but is still like, freaky. I guess I might just be talking about scary faces in general and not like this specific thing. Like, that might be what I'm remembering like post Gracefields. Because we definitely haven't had as many of... I feel like we have, though. I'm gonna have to reread Goldie Pond. I could have sworn we got at least a couple. Okay, so they actually just have a technological way to do it. Sure. If you get close to the evil-blooded, push the button, set intervals. Okay, so I imagine it's like a radio transmitter, but it just sends like one beep message, basically. It's the kind of thing you can tap out like Morse code with. But this isn't even Morse code, it's just keep on tapping the button and set intervals. Then Jin's group can quietly go around and surround the evil-blooded demons. Again, I understand they're doing it quietly, but just this image of one Adam, moving quietly is the weirdest thing in the world to me. I can't imagine how the anime is going. I mean, I get it. I can see it. I can envision it. It is going to just be this Adam running very swiftly like Naruto without, really, like leaving, like just making a bit of wind sound, but not really like making big thumps. But I can't look at this boy and not think of big thumps. He's a big thump boy. The strength of Lambda will lay the evil-blooded to rest. There's no flaw in Boss's plan. It's a perfect plan. And... I mean, I get it. I don't think that Hayato is a piece of garbage. Like, I get it. He is, like... I honestly believe in him more than I believe in Norman. Because Norman has seen the full picture. He understands everything. And from that, I'm like, yeah, this is a shitty plan, Norman. This is awful. Whereas with Jin, like, he only knows part of it, but he has a lot of faith in Norman. From that perspective, I can't fault him at all. Oh my god, okay. Oh, it's been so long. Like, since we've properly seen them again. Oh my gosh. Mujika, you're looking so good. And this horse, oh boy. It's so droopy looking. I mean, even now that we know how demons work in general, this horse still feels like a total outlier. Like, he doesn't really have any eyes anywhere. And this doesn't seem to be a mask or anything. It looks like it is just the skin. It's such a weird horse, like, even amongst, demon animals. Okay, show yourself. Is this going to be Dawn Gilda, or is it going to be someone else? Like, is Hayato going to just show up and be like, alright, before they get here, we're gonna kill you first? Okay, never mind. Aww. It's been so long. They have so many stories they need to share. Well, I mean, the kids need to share them. I don't know if Mujika and Sonju have stories. It feels like they just kind of wander around in the forest doing nothing. Like, if it turns out they've been doing something at all, I'm going to be very surprised. Once you see her, push the button 3 times. And plus, Aishi does speak demon language, so she can just outright say, without fully blowing her cover, like, hey, guys, someone evil is coming. Boy, oh boy, we got the Samurai Adams. From this shot, like, before, when we just saw them from the front, I did think of these as more like samurai swords, but this is way more of a, like, machete, actually. Wait, is this Adam bald? Like, this shot of the bald Adam here, and then, like, the Adam with pigtails here reminds me so much of the ICP from Dr. Stone. Like, they feel very similar, just even bigger somehow. Even more muscly and monstrous somehow. God. There's this one shot coming up that I want to read, or, that came out this week. It's Boichi doing something with One Piece. And I kind of want to see what Boichi would do with Promised Neverland characters. Because, like, they're so stylized. And especially, like, all the muscly characters. There aren't very many. I guess they're all Adam now that I think about it. But I basically just want to see Boichi draw Adam. That's actually all I want. I don't really want to see him draw anyone else. I don't want to see him draw Emma. Actually, I kind of do. I'm so curious to see what that would look like. Because, like, Emma's already a very weird design. Like, she's so much of a moe blob inherently. And, like, Boichi's style is very, I believe the term that the anime onlys are using right now is ALMAO. I want to see an ALMAO Emma. See, I don't know. I genuinely don't know why why did Norman choose swords? Because for characters like this, you would usually use clubs. Because clubs are, like, you can't hold a club the wrong way. You can't swing a club the wrong way. It is inherently just a big thing that does equal damage no matter how you use it. Whereas a sword, like, requires some finesse. Which means either, like, it's a bad situation, or he did somehow, like, train all these atoms to use swords. Like, they do have sword skills, which I don't know which one of those is more insane. Norman overlooking that they can't use swords, or Norman making sure they can use swords. I do agree, though. Like, there's no point in giving them guns. Like, if that were the case, just send more kids that are very well trained. Like, send more snipers or something. The point of an atom, if you're sending in an atom, is that atoms are very strong. Betrayal. How could this have happened? Oh boy, teleports behind you! Nothing personnel, kid! I mean, we've seen, like, Sonju does not, like, he is extremely happy to kill children. He was completely happy with that. Like, he doesn't want to eat these guys because they're not, like, proper, outside raised. He's a very religious man. But he will slaughter them. Not to mention, like, now that we've seen more demons, like, more, like, humanoid demons like Luvis and how they can work, we know how powerful they can potentially be. Sonju has presumably been protecting Mujika this entire time from, like, any demons that may or may not, like, come across them accidentally or maybe sent out to try and kill her. He's very strong, and it seems like he's in the prime of his life. Like, whenever I think of Luvis fighting, I think of old man Luvis, very, like, decrepit Luvis, and he was still way better than any of the kids. Like, they had to use a lot of tactics just to barely kill him. I feel like Sonju could slaughter all of them if he wanted to. It's probably going to be more of a Mujika telling him, hey, don't kill them, thing that's going to hamper him. That's going to make this more of an actual fight. I just saw the atoms reacting again. They remind me so much of the ICP. But oh boy, so I don't know how the next chapter is going to play out, really. Like, it's not a question of who's a better fighter, who can beat who. Like, I don't know which would be better, really. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Plus, they did say, the evil-blooded. Like, presumably, Sonju does have some of Mujika's blood. Like, that's why they don't have to, eat humans, why they don't have to go... Oh, I just realized, actually. That's why he can be so picky. Like, I mean, I knew that already. Like, we already had the discussion before a couple back when we learned that demons need to eat humans in order to maintain their forms. Like, that's when I was like, oh yeah, Sonju and Mujika, they're weird, let's see what's up with them. But... like, it just struck me that probably his religion is probably based on the evil blood. Like, his religion probably states, like, you can only eat humans that are free, but at the same time, like, you don't have to eat humans all the time. Like, you eat them because it's a religious thing to do. Like, because you no longer have to. I don't know, I might be just, like, spinning off on a tangent there. But I feel like his religion is going to be more important, because, like, the Promised Neverland has been delving into spiritual stuff quite a bit. And I don't think it's not going to be something where, like, his religion is more real or something. I think it's going to just be like, it is valid. There's something to it that is inherently tied to the evil blood, and that is, like, that's either the reason why they can't just, like, give all the demons the evil blood, or something else to that regard. Like, it might be one of the other reasons why the aristocracy, like, tried to kill all the evil blooded, apart from just, in order being able to control the food supply. Yeah, that is true. Like, I was being a bit facetious when I was like, oh no, how could this have happened? But genuinely, they didn't do anything. I guess it's just because, like, they didn't really have a good option. They didn't know how he was communicating with them. I guess they could have just paid close attention and, like, noticed that he had the clicker, but even then, it'd be very tricky to get it out of his hands before he can click it 3 times. I could see it too. Like, they are very smart, and Promised Neverland likes to do the whole, like, alright, this feels like they don't have a plan, but then actually they do have a plan, or, this was more cleverly done than you expected. They could have. I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping that they do have, like, a valid escape plan. Or they have something where Sonju Mujika can skedaddle, and they can go somewhere safe. Dawn and Gilda do feel like the kind of guys that, like, they wouldn't die here, because they are humans. I doubt that Jin Hayato would just kill them for betrayal. But I do feel like they might have a situation where it's like, okay, we're not going to be with Sonju Mujika, but we're going to send them to, like, the bunker or something. Maybe not the bunker, actually, that's a bad idea. But, like, I could see that. I could see it just being a situation where like they send them off because also like this is a bit. It could be a Gracefield misdirect where we're so focused on the main trio and then later the main trio plus Dawn and Gilda that we didn't consider the idea that the other kids were in on the secrets, and we know for a fact that the other kids are in on the secret this time around. It's just they haven't been shown to be part of this plan, the Save Sonju Mujika plan. But I think they absolutely could be. Overall, let's head back to this starting bits. Because, like, what else could Emma possibly have sacrificed? I mean, again, I could just be straight up wrong. I do, like, as someone in the chat said, I do put a lot of emphasis on specific wording in a thing that is, a weekly translation that isn't fully backed by the official, like, intent of the authors all the time. But the fact that they've emphasized is your. It feels like it's got to be something that is either inherently hers, or it's something where, like, she has the option to do it. Like, it can't be something that endangers the kids, because she would 100% every single time say no. Even though they said, never tell Gargablarg no. Like, she would absolutely say no. So it has to be something that she can give up. And it has to be something that would kill her to give up, which is a very thin line. I really do like the idea of her staying there forever. I don't. No, stop. Gargablarg isn't like that. He did immediately say that she was tasty looking, but I don't think he meant it like that. The only eating he wants to do is going to be actual vor. I mean, your brain is simple enough. Like, I could see that. But that feels too easy almost. Like, if it's as simple as just you die, then I don't think that would really, like, that's barely a sacrifice for Emma. Which, that feels very weird because, she's the whole, don't, sacrifice anyone person. But I inherently, personally, I guess, like, this is a very personal opinion, I consider sacrificing your life to not be as bad as, like, spending 80 years of your life doing something, or, spending all the time in the demon world or something. Like, it's the reason why a life sentence is harsher than a death penalty in some occasions. Like, a death penalty you can't take back, whereas a life sentence you can, investigate again, you can take it back. I do see the logic there. But in terms of time served, like, you are serving eternity when you're dead, but at the same time, you're also serving, like, a few minutes, and then you're gone. It could also be something like, I want your companionship, maybe. Like, if we are going to go back to my earlier theory of Gargablarg as a kid, he just wants to play with people, which was kind of subverted, but not really. Like, he still was playing with them to some extent. Like, the riddle behind the seven walls is a form of playing with them in a way. It's something that you can only deal with if you are a kid. Like, if you have that elastic brain and you're also very intelligent at the same time. So it could be as simple as, you're gonna stay here forever. Like, we're just gonna talk. You're gonna be my friends. Goddamn. Actually, what if Emma frees Gargablarg? That's also a possibility. It seems as if he can't leave here. Like, people have to come to him. What if that's not, like, a thing he intended? What if he's trapped here and her option is just, well, I'm going to break everything. Like, when I said I'm, like, she'll break down the seven walls themselves and drag him to the demon world and hang out with him. I really love the mental image of Gargablarg with all the kids as just, he's the extra member of the crew now. It was so weird having Nameless Geezer slash blah, 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 what's his name? I can never remember his name when I think of him as Nameless Geezer. But like, he was real weird because it was like one adult and a ton of children. Imagine how weird it would be if it's all children and also Gargablarg. But okay, so that's the Promised Neverland. I feel like I've spent enough time on it. It's good chapter. Oh, I forgot to rank it. That explains something. Or that explains what I felt like I was missing. So, Promised Neverland, good chapter. It was not as good as Last Saiyuki. I do think it was better than Chainsaw Man. Like, Chainsaw Man was more fun, I would say. But, I don't know. Like, the last part of it wasn't as interesting. I got a lot out of these first 2 pages. But, like, the rest of the chapter wasn't that great. It was mostly just, like, well, this kind of had to happen, like, this is what we expected. They find Sonju Mujika, and then Jin and Hayato show up with the atoms. He posted a song. Oh, Brains by Voltaire. That's actually very fitting. Voltaire is very good, by the way. What did you message me directly? Oh, I see. But yeah, overall, good chapter. I didn't paste it. I'll put it below Chainsaw Man, above Actage. I think that works. Like, the Actage chapter was really good. We Never Learn, also fairly good. I think that's a good placement. But no, I kind of want to listen to it, but at the same time, I mean, no, definitely not. Also, my settings for desktop audio are so low that I think if I played it, I don't know if you'd be able to hear it at all. It would just be me looking at a blank screen. Anyways, let's move on. Next is One Piece, chapter 949. No, 949. 949. There we are. There we are. Okay, so I did take a quick peek at this, this color page because I wanted to check to see if this chapter was loading before this started. So I didn't look at this properly. I did notice the gorilla though, so that's the one spoiler I've had in months when it comes to One Piece. Oh, whoa! Yeah, you're right. First of all, this gorilla just has a tattoo that says gorilla on it. He's got some tribal tattoos. Maybe he's going into Gear 4th. Maybe Luffy's sending his hockey into him, actually. It is coming out of where his hand is touching. Is that like a cheese dragon? What is this? I guess that's supposed to be like a chair or something. Oh, no, that's a banana. Never mind, I'm stupid. I didn't notice the entire thing below it. I didn't realize that was all one thing. Oh, this is so cute. Oh, I was just talking about this, actually. Does anyone remember when the last time we saw Chopper without a hat was? It was during Whole Cake Islands. Like, during the going to Capone's ship thing, there's this brief period. I think it was around when Luffy was drinking the milk and he fixed his teeth, where we see Chopper without a hat on because he just took a shower. He's equal parts cute and terrifying. Like, he's cute because I don't know, I like the big, soft, shiny forehead. Something about that I just find really, like, appealing in a cute way. It's very, like, small, baby, kissable, but at the same time, I'm so used to his hat being a part of him. Like, it is his design. I don't know how else to put it, because, like, it's not like if we saw Brook without his afro, because that would just be a skeleton. Like, that's inherently not that interesting. It would be like, is there a character I can think of like that? Like, it wouldn't even be someone like, Ace, because I can envision him without his hat, sure. Whoa, wait a minute. Does Frankie... Yeah, Frankie has his, like, classic hair again. That's cool. I was about to say, like, it's like Frankie without his hair. But then I realized, A, he hasn't had his hair in the longest time, and B, he has it now. It'd be like, who else in all of Shonen Jump just always wears a hat to the point where it's just a part of their inherent design? Like, I can't imagine them without it. No one's coming immediately to mind. It's basically just Chopper. Try picturing Actually, try picturing Blackbeard without his hair. I think Blackbeard without his hair is extremely cursed. He is mostly beard, especially now, like post-time skip. Anyways, good color page. I really like it. Like, it's been a while since I've had a color page that I've really enjoyed, but I really like this one. Even though it is just a classic, the entire crew plus some animals one. It's so nice. Wait, have we? I don't remember that. Like, not counting, his flashback. When else have we seen him without his hats? Anyways, let's move on. Eliminate the Meddlesome Six. Oh boy, is that going to be their new fan name? Yeah, Jesus. Like, the playgrounds are extremely cursed as a power. Also, if you don't know, Stephen Paul did outright mention, yes, like, playgrounds is a play on, the term playgrounds. That said, it's one of his really weird puns in that, like, the idea is supposed to be that it conveys a sense of fun or excitement. Like, Queen's terms in Japanese are all like puns on the term excitement. Whereas, like, I wouldn't say playgrounds gives me the feeling of excitement. It just feels like a pun, but I don't understand the pun. Even after I know what it is, I still don't understand it, really. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, thanks for telling me, Damage. I completely forgot about that. And speaking of Monet, actually, like, we're getting back to this. I really like characters that do have a medical aspect to them, and it's very rare that we get to see Chopper, like, get incensed about medicine or about science. Like, he usually just is a doctor for the most parts. But like this gives me those powerful Punk Hazard vibes. That like fierce indignation in using something that is poison or that is a virus. Donut, list more examples of him without his hat. I feel like it's extremely rare. I don't remember it. Like, anytime I think of Chopper, I feel like we've always seen him with his hat on, apart from like 1 or 2 times. Okay, so they're just kind of tearing through everyone. Sure, fine. Wait, is that a thing Raizo can do? I mean, I guess we're not seeing lightning coming from the shuriken. So maybe he's just flinging shuriken around. Oh, no, they are making zap sounds, so they are actual lightning shuriken. I'll have to, like, make a compilation of times we've seen Chopper as hats. Because, like, I don't doubt you. Like, you definitely you remember a lot more about One Piece than I do. But I barely remember him coming in and out of the bath. Like, I know he does it a couple times, but I feel like we just keep on seeing him with the hat on, like, right after he gets out. Use those, Sir Luffy's friends. You know, this guy, Luffy's friends. Oh boy. It seems like Kid's really, like, he's having an existential crisis here. Which makes sense, because, Killer is, like, he's not even going insane. He just is insane right now. Boy, I'm so curious to see what's going to go on here. I've heard the fan theory that Chopper will find a way to cure the, the side effects of having eaten the smiles. And I think that would be a pretty cool way to get Kid on his side. Like, he's a very harsh pirate, but for his friend, for his nakama, he'd be willing to turn a blind eye to the Straw Hats, or even work with them, maybe. I feel like you could make some good, when you're too high puns, or too high, like, memes with Killer. I feel like it'd work a lot better in the anime, though. Because, like, there's too many, like, fwa-fwa sound effect bubbles. They obscure his face really a lot. I mean, like, they are just straight up dying! God damn! I forgot to mention the name of the plague. It starts with heat spreading from the bullet wound, then leads to burning pain all over one's body, and blood everywhere. The victim is left racked with agony, writhing and crawling for help until they spread the misery to others. Okay, so that's the title of the chapter, Mummy. So this is the Mummy Plague. That is real fucked up, though, honestly, it feels more like they're zombies, like, because it's so communicable, plus the fact that, like, even when they are, like, shriveled up, to me, I always think of, zombie more so than mummy when I see someone like that. I mean, I guess that's just because of the shading, though. Like, in the anime, where you can see that it's more that their skin is shriveled up, they'll look a lot more like mummies. But it's also, like, I do think of mummies as just having bandages all over them, more so than being shriveled up. In the end, all of Udon is our enemy. This is such a good reversal of what I thought was going to happen in this arc. Like, it's not Luffy turning around all the prisoners and getting this big crew that can then escape, like he did with Impel Down. Rather, like, it's everyone in the prison, like, they're now his enemies. Regardless of whether they want to be or not, they just are. Mummies are just dry zombies. You're not wrong. They are just dry zombies. I mean, I'm glad that mummies, at the very least, haven't gotten the, like, the super focused, let's make them super scientific treatment that zombies have gotten. Like, generally, when you see mummies nowadays, they're still magic in origin. It's also, like, it's worse than zombies because they're so demoralized. Because they can still speak and say, hey, you failed us, but also, you can't do anything. It's hopeless. All is lost. The end is nigh. Like, that is crushing. Just look, one weapon created by one of his followers wreaks this much devastation. Like, I guess a part of it is also that Kaido and his crew don't really give a shit about the people of Wano. Like, for all the Crocodile did, even though he did cause, like, horrible droughts that killed a lot of people, we didn't see him, like, actively murdering people in order to fight. Like, he was very callous. He didn't give that much of a shit about Alabasta, but at the same time, like, he needed everything to run to a certain degree. Whereas with Wano, like, Kaido really just needs the capital to remain running. Like, he needs the capital, and he needs, the factories to keep on moving. But he could, like, easily have the rest of Wano be annihilated, and he probably would not care. True, he did create the sandstorms just to fuck with everyone. I might be adding a little too much nicety to Crocodile. He was a bit of he was an asshole. I can't even say a bit. He was a big ol' asshole. Okay, so it is communicable. For a minute there, I was going to say, like, maybe he's immune because he has the poison protection, but this isn't poison. Like, it is a virus. They did establish that specifically. Oh shit, he's touching all of them. Like, he's holding all of them back. Yeah. God damn, Luffy. You call this overwhelming power? This stuff has no effect on me. As the sores are spreading all over him, as he's bleeding from the nose. It's such a different type of hurt for Luffy, too. Like, most of the time when we see, like, Luffy being hurt, like, he's exhausted, he's been beaten up, he's been cut. But, like, Impel Down's really the only time I can remember. Again, I'm probably forgetting a bunch of times. But, like, I feel we don't really see him being, like, having a status effect like this, like an infection or a poison. It's so different, because it isn't something that he can just, like, heal off. Especially this. Like, I don't know how he's getting out of this. I'd say Chopper, but Chopper's... I mean, maybe he could. Chopper is an incredible doctor, but I don't know if that's going to quite work out. Like, can he do it in a minute while Luffy's dying? The samurai I know are all strong and hardy, but you guys are all broken all the way on the inside. What do you mean normal life? Obeying every order they give you, living off of dumplings, is that normal? God damn! I mean, when I think of Luffy's speeches, I think of them as having this, like, inherent selfish quality to them. But this is like a straight-up, wake-up sheeple speech. So what if I came from another place? Why can't an outsider help protect your country? Goddamn, that's actually, holy shit! For a Japanese manga, like, I mean, One Piece in general has been very, like, anti-Japanese, very anti-Tokyo Shinobi Squad. Like, it is inherently a series that's all about globalization. Like, over the course of the series, the world has become more global. The Straw Hats have become more powerful because they have crew from all around the world, because they have been, like, picking up stuff from across the world, because they have been connecting different islands. Like, it is inherently a very globalized series, but still, it does feel really, really crazy to have Luffy saying, why can't an outsider help protect your country, in a country that is an analog for Japan? Like, holy shit. I made a promise with a friend named Tama who fed me back in curry. I promised to make this a place where you can eat your fill again. Holy shit. We came here to fight Kaido and win. And this face, like, still bleeding from the nose, steam, it looks like it's steam, like, rippling off of his body, which, it's going to be interesting to see how they differentiate that from, like, the Gear 2 steam. I imagine it's probably going to be differently colored, like, you know, he's not going to be red, obvious. Or maybe he will be red. What color would he be? Did they say? I don't think they mentioned a specific color in this chapter or last chapter. But because they, you know, they said that, you know, they get hot, they start boiling, that feels like it would be red. They do look a little weird, but, like, I like the aesthetic. It's so different. It's, like, this feels like a panel that is going to show up on, like, on merchandise and stuff. It's such a distinctive Luffy panel. I mean, that's one hell of a speech. He did it. Like, that's a Nats 20 charisma save. Like, all he had to do was sway their hearts. He had to convince them that it isn't hopeless. That, like, sure, it hasn't happened for 20 years, but it's happening right now. Okay, oh boy. Po-hoo, po-hoo, pa-pa-pa! Oh? Oh? I saw a pretty bad future just now. I mean, is it going to explode? God damn! Holy crap! Like, that's not just a... With any other explosion, like, if it were just a cannon or something, I'd be like, okay, sure, like, the back half of the cannon exploded, but whatever, the person's fine. But that is the elephants. Like, that's an explosion. Something burst. Something exploded and dosed him with 200 doses of virus. Holy crap, that's actually really brutal. Like, goddamn! In this shot of Luffy, like, just silhouetted super inky black against the explosion, oh my god, I can't... For once, like, I want to see this animated. The new, like, episodes of One Piece have been really, really, really good. So I think they could legitimately do this justice, like, in a way where it's not just, man, that sure was a good panel from the manga, I'm glad that it's colored in now. Like, oh my god. It is a very weird expression. He feels very high. Like, he feels very done with it, which I guess makes sense. Like, he is dying of the plague. Like, I could see this being, like, you know, like, a very ragged line delivery. Like, he's just barely hanging in there. So he can't afford to be flashy anymore. He just showed up and immediately stopped up the trunk. Which, again, I do appreciate, by the way, that it's not even like he held it while it exploded. He tied it up. It's so, like, Looney Tunes. You get the rest. Now it's your turn. We know we don't care. We've decided to rebel. It's almost as if we are the rebellion. 8 days to the great battle, and without the main army knowing, Udon is pacified. Okay, so we've got the countdown. It's still going. It is cool that we are, in fact, getting this like countdown to like the promised day in which everything goes down. These last few chapters of One Piece have been some of my favorites in a long time. Like, I think maybe since Luffy versus Katakuri, which has been like a fair bit of time away. Like, it's been so focused on just this plotline, and it's been done so well. Like, I'm not bored with it at all. I'm not like complaining about it. It's good manga. Like, it's just good One Piece. It's just, when you read a chapter and you're like, wow, this is instantly iconic. I've had that for like a lot of chapters of One Piece ever since I started reading it. But a lot of them have been like, the ending of an arc or like a very big moment, a big climax. Whereas I wouldn't consider this to be a climax. Like maybe the climax of Act 2, perhaps. No, even then we have the execution, which would be the real climax. Like, this is just an iconic chapter of One Piece that is just here. God, what else can I say about it? It is a climax of Luffy's character. Like, I was saying before how it felt like a very un-Luffy speech. And I think, like, I still agree with that, but it's un-Luffy in the sense that, like, it's not Luffy, inherently having it be, him, he's helping he's helping these people that he cares about, but he's also doing it for himself. It's more just, like, he cares about the country as a whole. He has the personal connection with Tama. He has that connection to the samurai. But he's speaking to, like, Wano as a whole. It's a bigger scale than he usually deals with. And he's so charismatic with it, too. Like, charismatic in a leader sense, almost, which is not something I think of when I think of Luffy. I think of Luffy as charismatic in a very, shonen hero sense. In a very, like, he's the Straw Hats captain sense. I don't think of him as usually, like, a big group of random people level of charismatic. Even though he has been at times, just, yeah. I'm willing to say it. It's hashtag Emperor Luffy time. God damn. I hope someone here is I'm hoping that someone here is willing to talk to Big News Morgans after this, because there needs to be an op-ed. There needs to be an issue of the newspaper that's all just this. But yeah, so amazing, fantastic chapter. It is without a doubt, like, I really, really loved this week's The Last Saiyuki, but I think it handily beats it. I can't argue otherwise. I mean, it beats so much. Dr. Stone and My Hero are gonna have to try real hard to beat One Piece this week, because that's just a landmark, good chapter of Weekly Shonen Jump. Like, that's just the highlights. One Piece was the first thing this week, right? I think so. To be fair, like, this doesn't actually reflect the table of contents in Japan. The author comments do. Let me do a quick check. I'm not going to look at the author comments, but I'm real curious now. I mean, they got the front color, so it has to be the first one. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, like, holy crap. Yeah, it had lead cover. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it didn't. Maybe they just had the lead cover page, but somehow didn't have the first chapter. The thing that happens in Jump sometimes. No, it doesn't. Was that taking on the blog page? Whoops. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is. That's Teching 101. He's doing a Dr. Stone manga chat. Well, we'll get to that later, I guess. One Piece. Boichi covers Zoro vs. Mihawk, Chapter 1. So this is a one-shot. I don't know what it is. I speculated a bit at the very start of this on, like, the name of this, because it's Boichi covers Zoro vs. Mihawk. Okay, so this is what I kind of thought. I figured it either had to be, like, the sense of covers as in, like, like covering an album, covering a song, like he's just doing it, or conversely that, he was going to cover something we didn't see. Like, maybe during the 2-year time skip, it was like a fight between Zoro and Mihawk, where Zoro nearly won or something. But no, it's a cover. He's just doing his take on Chapter 51. Well then. Semblance of Sanity, if you don't know, is like they're reading One Piece once a week on a live stream, and so I've been like downloading the digital versions of the chapters just so I can like flip alongside them very easily. So I probably have One Piece. Chapter 51 would be here. Like, if this is a cover, I'm not going to, like, read the chapters side by side by any stretch of the imagination, but I do want to just, like, be able to reference it. If that is what we're doing, like, is it going to be panel for panel, or is it going to be like a twist to it? Before this, like when we knew that Boichi was just doing a chapter of a One Piece thing, I assumed it was going to be like Shokugeki no Sanji, but just with Zoro. It was going to be like what happened prior to seeing Zoro for the first time. I love Boichi's Nami. Okay, so that's actually not the cover though, huh? Interesting. So far, Luffy looks pretty good. Zoro looks alright. Nami looks like a Boichi girl, but I do appreciate she's not as ALMAO as normal Boichi girls. Also, like, Nami is just the fan service girl in One Piece, so I get it. Also, this is a younger Nami than what I usually think of in my head, to be fair. Like, this is chapter 51 Nami. Okay, that's definitely not a shot we had before. Like, it was quite a while into One Piece before we saw the first, like, overhead shots. So, this is definitely the red line. What's this? Is this Reverse Mountain? I guess it has to be, right? Is that how Reverse Mountain is designed? Yeah, it is. Because these are the parts that go to each of the 4 blues, and then this is the one that leads up to the Grand Line. I've never really considered it, but yeah, I guess the area around the red line would look lighter from space, just because it is higher up. If that's a scale, then One Piece World's a few tens of kilometers wide. Yeah, because that's such a long journey just to get to the top. Okay, let's see what the first page looked like. Also, you guys are offset there, that's right. So if I'm looking at the pages, I should have them... let's make this smaller, actually, so it's more manageable. Hopefully you can still, like, look at them, kind of. This isn't from this chapter, right? Like, obviously it's not. It would have been, like, right after the cover page. But it's in this volume, I believe. Yes, it is. Okay. Is he doing both of them, maybe? Okay, so, doing a quick comparison between character designs, I think, Usopp looks okay. Not the best. I do prefer, Oda's Usopp. I mean, I'm gonna prefer all of Oda's designs in general, but just, like, speaking, unbiasedly, Luffy, I think, looks worse. He looks too kiddie. Like, he looks like, chapter 1 Luffy. Like, actual child Luffy. Zoro looks fine. Nami looks okay. I do think that, like, the proportions should be more cartoony on Nami. Like, Boichi's not really doing his art. It's more like he's doing a filtered version of Oda's arts, which is fine in its own way. Are those Johnny and Yosaku? Yeah, I guess it is. It's been so long since I've seen this. Then on here we have Sanji. Boy, oh boy. Let's make this even smaller. Okay, so Sanji looks really good. Honestly, looks better than this. Like, I do prefer later Sanji design, and this looks like it's more inspired by post-time skip Sanji. Like, it is very much like, if I looked at this image, I would just be like, yeah, it's Sanji. There's a little too much detail around his knuckles, and, like, his hair is very clearly the Dr. Stone hair, but it looks fine. Zeph is just straight up an old man from Dr. Stone. That's not Zeph. That's just a Dr. Stone design. Like, Boichi's old man designs are even more iconic than his woman designs. They're so samey. Or not samey, but, like, they're so normal. Mihawk looks, again, exactly with Mihawk. That's just straight up Mihawk. And, who is this? Is this Krieg? This isn't what Don Krieg looks like, right? Yeah, I mean, pretty good resemblance anyways. I do think, like, I really like the bottom row a lot. Like, they all just, like, they look like the designs, but I wouldn't even say better, just I enjoy them more aesthetically. Okay, so now we're getting the cover page. First of all, I do appreciate that he did do just the cover story for one chapter. Sure, so that's Alvida. Good-looking Alvida. Honestly, a better-looking Alvida than his Nami, personally. Because, like, it gives off that feeling of, look at this mysterious woman that we haven't seen before, and she's super sexy, and she's, yeah. Like, it would be very shocking later on to see that this person is in fact Alvida. But, like, you can still, that's good, that's good. And, like, Buggy looks pretty good, too. Yeah, I'm down for this. Yeah, it is Don Krieg. Okay, just making sure. It's been so long since I've seen Don Krieg. We meet at last, actually sooner than I thought. Okay, so, look at the dandy to my ship. I'm not the kind of fool who hunts rabbits with a cannon. So, looking at all of that dialogue, let's see how it looked originally. Okay, so, the poses are, like, the same. Like, but the direction is different, if anything. That's a really interesting way to put it. Because, like, yeah, like, even this shot, it is the same as this. It's just the camera angle is different. Like, the art style, too, obviously, but I really like that idea. Like, I like the idea of it being as if One Piece is a thing that really happens, and Oda, was there, quote unquote. He chose the angles. He was looking at this area. He saw, the people as they were, and now Boichi's doing the same thing. Like, it's not like he's reimagining it. It's not like it's a different, idea of what could have gone down. It's exactly what happened before. It's just a different artist's interpretation. Yeah, like, it's so cool because it's blind, but it's also not blind. I know everything that's going to happen in this chapter, but at the same time, I don't know how it's going to look. I don't really know how that's going to turn out as far as a reaction goes. Like, is this going to be good? Oh boy, it's been so long since I've seen Johnny and Yosaku. No one's ever counted my onigiri before. Jeez. I do love the intensity on Zoro's face here. Like, we haven't had a lot of, like, very intense fights in Dr. Stone. Like, I feel... I'm really curious to see how the, choreography is going to look here. Because I don't think Oda's very good when it comes to sword fight choreography, but at the same time, I don't think Boichi's good at it either. But they have different ways of going about it. Oda likes to just show the cause and the effect. He's very good at, like, showing, like, this is Zoro after he landed the blow, and then this is, the explosion. Whereas Boichi is more of a, here's a lot of lines showing where the slashes were kind of guy. He shows all the movement, but it's still extremely hard to follow it. Okay, yeah, so this is the classic. How did Oda do this? So the gulf between us can't be that great. Where was that? By the way, I don't know who was cited as the translator for this. It can't be Stephen Paul, right? There's no way that they cited Stephen Paul for this. Suppose that? Yes, okay, good. So this, because it is word for word the exact same translation as, the original volumes, which makes sense. Like, that, like, clearly the point of this as a chapter is that it is literally what happened before. So if they retranslated it, or if they, updated the translation a bit, it wouldn't feel right. You have to have the experience that I'm having right now of it's exactly the same. Like, you can look at it and compare the pages exactly. So, sorry, I got sidetracked there. So, very similar in a way. Like, it's just a bunch of slashes, but it's more of Oda's, a bunch of slashes, and you can see, you don't have to follow them. You don't know which of these came after which. Whereas with Boichi's, it feels like you're supposed to be able to tell which one came after, but you can't. Which, to be fair, I don't know if that's his intended effect or not. That's just what I feel whenever I see something like this. Or like when Hyoga's twirling the spear. I always have this sensation of I should be able to follow how the spear is moving because we see all the lines and they're all continuous. It's just I can't. I love the idea of Boichi being like, okay, who's the spinniest character? Which character can I have the most, speed lines for? Because, I was talking to Donut before about how I wanted, which Shonen Jump mangakas would I assign to which Straw Hats, assuming each Straw Hat gets something like this. Like, not exactly like this, but something like Shokugeki no Sanji, where it's just a chapter that could be canon, could not be. I definitely pegged Boichi as more of a Frankie guy. Because I feel like, Frankie's big, buff. I want to see Frankie in Boichi's arts, and I want to see, a big, manly fight in Boichi's art. Plus, Boichi's really good at doing, machines. And I would love to see, a General Frankie in his art style. I remember this general chapter, but I could not, if you told me to say what happens on the next page, I couldn't do it. It's been a while. I just remember, the beats of it. This Luffy looks a bit better than the others. He still looks a bit younger, but this is more of a, pre-time skip Luffy design to me, as opposed to a child Luffy design. God, how did Oda used to draw his nose? I remember Usopp's nose looking it was more pointy before, right? So Boichi at least was accurate with that. I was about to say it's not long enough, but the extra length is something that came in a bit later. Where it's always been long, but it was more this level of long, as opposed to being a big ol' pointy Pinocchio dildo thing. Can't. If I retreat even one step, my vow, my ambition. Oh my god, this direction. Okay, I saw the bottom, but I want to, look at this properly. I want to follow the flow of it. Even if it means death, I'd prefer death to defeat. God damn, that's so cool! This direction is fantastic. Because, even before you get to the very long blade, this feels like a... The direction of the panels feels sword-like, if that makes any sense. Like, you've got the long one here, you've got the very skinny one here. Like, it primes you for the shot of the sword. There's no way it looked that good originally. Yeah, like, still, this is very good. Like, I like the direction of this. It uses the white space in a very interesting way. It does cut around the sound effects. The sound effects do fill up some of that white space. Like, it's a very well-composed shots. And again, like, it's exactly the same shots. Like, okay, so it's these two fingers are right here. Where are they here? It's hard to tell because of this angle. Like, it is a very different angle, but it does look like it's, it's the exact same arm placements. It's just looking at it in a different way. God, I cannot express just how cool I find that. It's so cool. Like, if I had an infinite amount of money, one thing I would do is I would go to other mangaka. Like, I would go to other mangaka and just say, hey, I want you to redraw your entire series, but at different angles. I find that so fascinating for some reason. Or like when you get flashbacks, but they're from a certain person's POV, and then all the flashbacks are done like from that person's POV, whereas before they were done like not from there. It's so cool. Oh, really? I do agree with that. Like, I do think Mihawk's coat looks better in black and white. Like, it fits him more, too. I think of Mihawk... I was just talking about how I do see, like, manga characters in color, or I think of them in color. Like, if you showed me a black and white image of Zoro, or of Sanji, like, yeah, like, I guess they both fit, honestly. Like, if it's a shot of Zoro where you can see his hair, even if it's in black and white, and you say, like, hey, what color is that? And you point at his hair, I would just be like, yeah, it's green, or, it's like teal. What are you talking about? You can look at it. You can see the color. It's not like I'm literally seeing it, but I'm so used to character designs with consistent colors that I do like transpose those onto the page in my mind sometimes. But with Mihawk, I do feel like he is inherently a character who works in black and whites. I guess because when I think of him, I think of Zoro, like, the Mask of Zoro. And when I think of the Mask of Zoro, I do think of him as also being in black and white. It's been a while since I met one so brave. I will honor the swordsman code and send you to death with this black blade, the finest in the world. I mean, in addition to this being, like, I assume just a chapter the Boichi wanted to cover, maybe this is meant to be a small refresher of, like, hey, just so you remember, Mihawk does have, the best black blade. Black blades are a thing. We're in Wano. This is gonna come up. Like, it is a very Western-looking blade, too. It is, like... the halberd is super wide, it's super ornate, it's not Japanese in the slightest. Which makes me feel like, if this, like, not all the black blades are made in Wano, obviously, but, like, the best in the world, either the best in the world was not made in Wano, or it was made in Wano, but it was made according to a non-Japanese design. Which, both of those are interesting ideas. It's not enough for me to, like, actually be able to say anything about it, but it's something I'm gonna remember. Oh boy, this is, I don't remember which one it was. I know it's a technique he does a lot in the future, as just, a general technique, but here it's a secret move. How did this look before? Also, this looks a lot less cool from this angle. Like, again, it's the exact same thing. Or, actually, even with this, I guess it's the camera angle that makes this look more curved than it really is. Either that, or I guess, like, the angle here is very close up, so you don't see the curve. But no, his sword isn't curved, right? I'm pretty sure it's not curved. Yeah, like, Boichi is very good at just, small details and stuff. Like, especially, like, the shading on his abs, or, like, his knuckles. I think of Boichi knuckles a lot. Like, no mangaka really does knuckles as well as Boichi. In the sense that usually they look gross, or they look like just, this is clearly a mangaka who doesn't like to draw knuckles. Horikoshi's also very good at knuckles. But, like, these are so iconic. I feel like, especially because a lot of characters have the same kind of hands, like, if you were to erase Mihawk here, you probably could transpose this hand onto, like, Senku. Or probably Taichu, actually. Senku does have, like, light hands. But, like, any of the muscular characters, like, Magma or something from Dr. Stone, you could put that sword in anyone's hands. Or you could put this hand on anyone's arm. It is? Wait a minute. God damn, yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. I'm retarded. Wait. Is it? I mean, yeah, like, this is a curve. But I wouldn't say the whole sword is curved, just this part's. Like, it's consistent here, too. Like, it's not a halberd level of curve, but, like, there is a curve there. It's mostly straight, I'd say. Like, if you were to trace this, let's get this full-size image. So, if we were to draw a straight line, Damn it, I made it not straight. Why am I so bad at that? But yeah, like going directly down, most of it is straight. Like here's where the curve really starts. And then from here... Okay, I do agree, my straight lines aren't very good. Wait, how would I do this properly? But like this, the sword is angled, so I have to inherently angle it a bit. Because it's mostly straight. Like it's, I'd say like 80% straight. It's really just this part where it stops being straight. Like I would say this is widening out a little bit, maybe. But it's not like a curved sword. It's not like a, like a scimitar. Like a scimitar, I'd say, is like, that's a curved sword. Like that is like very barely straight at all. Like just this part is straight. The rest of it is very clearly a curve. But like, okay, so if we look at this shot, yeah, I guess still like the curve only really starts up here, and then that part's mostly cut off here. Like we're really just seeing the very base of it. Like we're seeing this portion of it, which is completely straight. So okay, I see what that is. That makes a lot of sense then. Like I wouldn't say it's 50% curved. Like to call it mostly curved, it would have to be at least 51% curved. And I don't think it's 51% curved. If we say halfway, like, okay, this is part of it, this is the bottom, I'd say halfway is, like, in between, like, around here, right? Like, I don't think that's controversial. And I think, like, from here, that's all straight. I feel like up here, it's also straight. Like, it's only this area where it's, like, there's a clear curve. Like, it starts actually curving. Does it start curving after the rectangle? I don't think so. I feel like that's it's widening out, but it's not curving. It's still a wide, straight line. Like, if you were to follow both of these lines, they'd end up being sort of a triangle. Like, if you stretched both of the top parts out, they'd eventually meet. Like, I'm willing to say that, but I don't think it curves up until, like, here. If we get another shot of it, like, in Boichi's art style, like, obviously, no, he didn't draw until here. I'm curious to see how Boichi deals with it, though. Because, like, obviously, it's not canon. Like, even if he's trying to make it exactly the way it was, but just from different angles, like, I still wouldn't take this as proof that it is or isn't curved, but it's weird that he chose this angle, then. Because this is supposed to be the moment where, like, he shows off the sword. Like, hey, this is the sword. Oof. God, that is brutal. It's the strongest in the world. Mihawk's turning around, about to slash at his back, but crucially, he doesn't. Wounds on the back are a swordsman's shame. I mean, I'm not arguing about Boichi either. Like, I am arguing that in Oda's art style, the sword is like 80% straight. I was just bringing up Boichi because I wanted to transition away. Oh god, that's so cool! Like, the blood splatter is the sound effects. That is a really neat piece of directing. Like, or not directing, I guess just, like, shot composition. Or would it even be composition? Either way, that is fucking cool. Also, that's where it ends, too. I mean, to be fair, this was before, like, they were redrawing all the sound effects, but they didn't, like, do a lot to make the sound effects look like the original Japanese ones, if that was even a thing back then. Like, I don't think this gives off the same feeling as Oda's. Like, it's a cool shot, and I do appreciate it's like a supplemental to the original. Like, this is inherently a supplemental. No one is going to read up to chapter 50 of One Piece and then go, alright, so I'm just going to read this one shot from Boichi, and then I'm going to start back at 52. Like, this is inherently for people who have read the original and are fans of One Piece. I do feel like his Zoro design is a bit bland. Like, the more I'm looking at it, whereas, like, like, Sanji here looks great. Luffy, like, Luffy looks childlike again, but at the same time, like, he has some, he has some oomph to it. He has texture to him. Whereas Zoro, I guess just because of the design that Zoro has, it's hard to, like, give him a strong, like, design aesthetic. I mean, what don't I like about this? Because he looks fine. Like, he looks good. It's just something about it doesn't feel that interesting to me. Though that could just be Zoro's design right now, like, in this arc. I don't know. I get, actually, I think it's because there's too much, like, there's too much to it, actually. Like, the extra Like, I like Zoro's design early on because it's so simple, because it is very clean. I think Boichi adding on his normal level of detail, just like, it doesn't gel well with it, because it's not showing off, like, more cartooniness. Whereas, like, with Luffy's design, you do get that cartoony feel to him. With Usopp's, you still get that. It's different from the way Oda does it, but, like, you still get it. Whereas Zoro has always had a more, like, restrained design for the most part. And so, like, in this art style, it doesn't look that distinctive. Don't be in a hurry to die, young warrior. And we're still going, so it does go into the next chapter, which I guess that does explain why we had the spread from next chapter. Whoops. Oh, okay, that's a good Luffy shot. Like, Luffy has been very inconsistent so far, but this is a good panel. Oh my god. Again, Luffy is very well suited to Boichi's show the line effects, but don't show the actual punches style. Like, this is some classic Boichi movement. Oh man, I'd actually really like to see how Boichi would have handled something like Snake Man in the Luffy versus Katakuri fights. Like, it would have been really, really wild. It might not have been good, but I think he could have done some interesting things with, you know, like with the mirrors, with the like the punches zooming everywhere, with the fact that, you know, Luffy's like snake punches are like inherently very stretchy looking, but then also he would have like the movement effects at the same time. It would have been a bit of a mess, but I think it would have been pretty cool. And I do think this is a fine mid-ground between Boichi style and the One Piece style. Like, it would have been cool to see him go full Boichi with it, like, just, these characters look nothing like the One Piece designs, they're just like that commercial, like the Zoro commercial, where it's everyone in that very realistic high school style. Like, I would have been cool if we did just do a full, this is, you know, all the characters in a more Dr. Stone art style, but at the same time, I think this is a good mid-grounds. Like, it's interesting in its own way. It's not my favorite, like, but that comes down to just I don't like some of the designs inherently. God, Mihawk looks so good. Discover yourself, see the world, and grow strong, Zoro. However long it may take, I shall await you at the top. Again, like, at this point, I can't put this in the top 10 best One Piece chapters, but it has a right to at least compete for that. It is such a definitive One Piece chapter. Like, it is arguably, like, it's the first big climax Zoro has, and I don't know if he's had a bigger climax. Like, he's had Cutting Steel, he's had good fights and stuff. But like, even when he, you know, trains with Mihawk for 2 years, none of that felt as impactful as this, as, you know, as the new goal he has set. Like, it's not just, I want to be the #1 swordsman. Now it's, I've seen the #1 swordsman, I get the power gap, I'm gonna be there. It's the best Zoro moment, but I don't know if I like Zoro enough to say that it's one of the best One Piece moments overall. Okay, come on, Zoro, you gotta say it. Oh, we're doing it. Never again. I will never lose again. And holy shit, this is fantastic. Like, let's look at the comparison here. Yeah, I mean, good. Still very good. Still, like, I really love it. It is like a top tier like Zoro expression. But this is From now to the day I beat him to become the greatest swordsman, I will never lose again. And the two of them just sobbing. Seriously, God, this is fantastic. I hope there's a clean version of this, because I would love to see a clean, like, rotated version of this, like, at cons and stuff. It is, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's a good, like, it's a good tribute to an incredible moment in the main series itself. Here come the locusts. Wasn't Krieg in this chapter? I guess not. And then the big zoom out, we see the moon, we see the One Piece world, we see how incredibly massive Reverse Mountain is. Good ending chapter, or like good ending shots. I would say the Thriller Bark moment is, I don't think it's a better Zoro moment, but it is a very definitive moment. Like, again, it's one of those moments where when I saw it for the first time, I was like, yep, this is the definitive moment in the franchise as a whole. Like, the anime did very well, but I'm really happy that I did read the manga version first at that point, because, it's so good. Okay, well, that was the One Piece one-shot by Boichi. Boichi covers Zoro vs. Mihawk, Chapter 1. Or rather, just Boichi covers Zoro vs. Mihawk. They have to label it as Chapter 1, because that's just how the site is designed. Like, if they do anything, including one-shots, they have to just say it's Chapter 1, which is whatever. It is what it is. Overall, good chapter. I mean, It feels unfair to rank it so high, but like the original chapter that it's based on is really, really good. Like it would still rank as, you know, a high level Weekly Shonen Jump chapter in general. And I really liked this, you know, this exercise. It's not as I didn't like it as it's hard to say because it does something very different from Shokugeki no Sanji. Shokugeki no Sanji was this like this celebration of Sanji as a character while at the same time being very Food Warsy. It was this perfect blend of the two. Whereas this was 100% just a thing that happened in One Piece from slightly different angles. But I like it as that. I like it as this tribute to the chapter as a whole, or to those two chapters, I guess. Like, I cannot in good faith say that the Chainsaw Man was better than the chapter of One Piece where Zoro got his dream. I think that I liked this chapter of the Last Saiyuki more than it, but like because it's more I guess because I still have to think of it like as it is right now. Like it's not in that moment, it's not that chapter. It's not that chapter when it first came out. This is a tribute to that chapter. And in that regard, I liked this chapter of the Last Saiyuki more for being like more of a overall world buildy thing. It is this like landmark thing. It's this brand new like exploration, this big reveal. I think that new blood is better. And I do think that this chapter of One Piece is, again, like, it's better not because this is a better moment in all of One Piece than Zoro versus Mihawk, but I think it's better, like, in context right now. This is a celebration of that chapter. This is a new, incredible chapter. Which One Piece character would you like Fujimoto to cover? Brook would be really good. His sketchy style is, like, I think it would work the best for Brook. Because when I think of a Fujimoto chapter as well, I imagine it being very crude, but at the same time very stylish. And Brook fits both of those. Like, I could see it being a chapter of just Brook trying to, like, either... what immediately comes to mind is Nami has her panties stolen by, like, a thief, and Brook has to run after him. So he wants to get back the panties, but he also wants to see them. And so it's like a very Chainsaw Man-y situation where like we have a bunch of really interesting like directorial choices for each of the pages. There's like this big crazy chase. There's a lot of powers being used in interesting ways. Like that's what I'm envisioning. I put the list in Weekly Shonen Jump. Don't look at the one I posted for Donut. I kind of did that. That was coerced. That wasn't like he didn't realize those were his decisions. So I don't want to specifically like say that those were his choices. Where did I put these? So all these choices are still like I'm still sticking with all of them because I think Posca in general is just a big fan of Oda. Specifically Posca, like not Posca and Caillou Shirai. I think that'd be really fun. It'd be fun to see like completely unfiltered, goofy Posca because like I have one of her art books and she has this very like goofy, fun mentality to what she does. Like she doesn't really do like storylines though, so I'd be interested to see like what would she do with the One Piece worlds, or would it just be like a weird shot of like Luffy walking through a crazy new islands for like 20 pages? For Zoro, I said I chose Boichi and Sanji just because those were the real ones that already happened. Alternatively, Kimetsu no Yaiba. I don't really like the Kimetsu no Yaiba manga that much, but I love the anime. And the anime is, like, relatively faithful to the manga. So, if the, like, manga gets a lot better, if the art, it lives up to what the anime is doing right now, then I could see a really cool Zoro thing. Nami, I said Taichi Susui just because I'd like to have a less serious thing for Nami. I think she would fit really well with a, like, goofy, like, vaguely rom-com-esque thing. Like, not actually a rom-com thing, but more of a, like, she's trying to rob a bank or something, and she's using her seduction abilities to sneak in. And there's, like, a girl there who can't be seduced, so she has to find a way to outwit her. That'd be really cool. Usopp, I chose Coach Kame just because, I can't justify that, but I thought it would be funny. I thought it would be funny. Also, I do like the idea of just this person who's there a lot longer than Oda, like someone who's been around for much, much longer, doing a tribute to One Piece. I think that's just inherently funny. Sanji, I wouldn't change that for the world. That just makes sense. Alternatively, the author of Toriko, that'd be pretty cool as well. With Chopper, I said Shuichi Aso because I always think of Chopper as being the mascot character, as being the goofy one, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Alternatively, I'd probably go with like, there's not a lot of great people in Jump that do animal characters, is the thing. And if we're doing a Chopper thing, I want it to be very, like, very furry. So, I don't know, maybe Koyaharu. Like, I could see, like, some of the monster designs working well with, like, reimagined versions of all of Chopper's points. That would be pretty cool. the My Hero author is what Donut chose, and I think that would also kind of fit. Because, like, he knows how to do non-human characters. He knows how to do interesting fights. Like, he could do a cool fight that involves all of Chopper's powers, and, you know, Chopper does want to be a superhero. Um, Robin, I just straight up chose Araki because, I mean, come on. Would you not want to see a Rocky Pen thing with Robin, like, going into a cavern, triggering some traps, like, you know, like a straight up, like, Indiana Jones thing, but with Robin and with crazy, weird Araki powers? Frankie, I chose Tetsuo Hara, pretty obvious. Frankie feels like a Fist of the North Star character. Why would you not? I did choose like just character, like authors from across all of Jump, as opposed to like people running right now, just because I thought it'd be more interesting. Brooke, like Akutami, but then also I'd say Fujimoto, and then Jinbei I said Horikoshi, just because I don't know, Jinbei feels very like straightforward. Like he's the kind of person I think of when I think of a hero. Like, you know, he is this big, pure good boy for the Fishman Pirates. Yeah, plus I just kind of want to see Horikoshi do a lot of Fishmen. Like, I want to be set entirely on Fishman Islands. I think that'd be super cool. My reasons are terrible, but they are my reasons. I won't sway them because this isn't a popularity contest. This is a me contest. Anyways, let's move on to Dr. Stone. Z equals 114. Silently, science pierces the stone. Silently, science pierces the stone. So, I guess this might be, like, if we're doing this really quickly, this could be a chapter of just, she goes in, she gets just the platinum, like, somehow Senku told her exactly what it looks like, she sneaks out, they start making revival fluid, and it's like, yeah, like, without making a fuss, without anyone knowing, they've already started unstoning people. That'd be pretty cool. By the way, I know this is completely unrelated to the table of contents in Jump, but I like the way that the English Jump laid this out, where you go from One Piece to the One Piece spin-off done by Boichi to Dr. Stone, which is drawn by Boichi. Like, there's a very good flow to it. I guess you could also include Kimetsu in that, too, like, if you want more sword stuff. But I think that's more of a stretch. I think these three were just chosen specifically. The voice thing has been, like, sometimes it's accurate. It's very rarely accurate, and I never really bring it up when it is. Oh boy, I closed the wrong tab. Yabe! In here lies the magic metal that will allow us to revive everyone who's been petrified. Platinum. It's crumbling apart, so what's inside? Stone! Okay, that's actually very different than what I was thinking. So this is the stone that needs to be silently pierced. But yeah, that does make sense. Like, they did that before with the graveyard. I was able to smash stone away by force, but yeah, that's right. I wasn't really considering the silent part of it, but yeah. Like, I was thinking if silence is just, you know, like, silently get in, get out, but that makes sense too. Like, literally, if you try smashing the stone, it's gonna be very loud. Also, God, I want Boichi to do more chibis. Like, he doesn't do omakes in the volumes that are, like, very chibi, and I wish he did. Like, I want more of those. He has a good chibi, like, a design sense. He knows how to do chibis in a way that is, like, cute, but is also, like, very distinctive. Gorilla Diamond Best. Oh no! Oh no! That's a joke that only, like, 4 people in chat will get, but it's 4 out of 6 people, so I guess that's a pretty good hit record. Do they? Wait, what? Silent bombs really exist? Okay. Huh, this is something I am completely unaware of then. What could this be? They're used to break apart concrete without causing much of rackets. Silent bomb might have been a brand name. The key component is generally known as expansive demolition grouts. I guess it's not a bomb, but like expansive demolition grouts. So I assume it's more of a like concrete is very weak to expansion forces. Like that's why when you pour concrete, like in Canada especially, like every single post-winter, the concrete and the asphalt, they always break open because like everything gets very cold, it all gets squished together, and then it all expands in the summer. Like that's just science. So I assume this is a similar thing of it's grout that expands and therefore like breaks apart the concrete without having to like, you know, drill through it. It just kind of like shatters it. Okay, I'm kind of curious. I apologize for all of the tangents I've been doing, but expansive. Okay, so drilling holes as they did in the chapter itself, or like in that one like image we saw. Like we saw holes in it, but I wasn't sure what those were for. So they pour it in. I assume this is like a time lapse. Let's speed this up. Uh, damn it, they didn't go all in and just do a time lapse. They just like took multiple pictures and then went, like from one to the next. Oh, that sucks. I wanted to see it actually like properly expands. That's like the peak Doctor Stone in terms of it being just a thing that you've probably like you don't know about it, but it's a thing that exists. It's a bit wild, but at the same time, it's not like magical. It does make sense. That's cool. Okay, so you ported right in. So I assume it's got to have like some delay to it then. I mean, obviously, we just saw the time lapse thing. So I guess from right now to when she puts it in, it's gonna constantly expand. They made so many of them. Like, why did they make multiples? Are these supposed to be different people? All I can see here is Churamatsu. But like, these two don't look like different members of the Kingdom of Science. They just look different. Sure, whatever. I ain't too sure about this girl. Start shaking those hips. Now, Ginro, shake it. Shake it like you want it. Are we calling them Misomobiles? Okay, yeah, I mean, there's no way to 100% do it silently. So, scrape, 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 or kurtz, 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 kurtz. How do you make another kurtz sound to, like, cover it up? Either that or someone has to make just a very loud noise in general. Oh, okay. The spear dance? Yeah, that's totally a thing I didn't just make up. Okay. I mean, he did know how to use a spear. He wasn't amazing at it, but, like, I do joke about him a lot, but like he was up there with Ginro, or like Ginro and Kinro together were like decent at using spears. Ginro much less so, but like he could use one. He wasn't a complete joke. I learned some useless spear tricks in case I ever needed to turn tail without fighting. A lot of long hours of practice went into those moves. What is going on with the line in the O bubble? I can only assume he started here, then like slid it up to around here-ish, and then jumped in the air, and then like did the rest of the slide. Like he couldn't have been suspended in the air for this entire thing, but I think it must have been like a halfway through this he jumped. And like at this point, I imagine the spear would have stopped while he was like mid-air. He would have balanced himself on it and then like quickly got back down. On the right page, on this one. I can only assume that's his penis. I don't know what else this could be. Because like, it's not like he's envisioning the line being traced by the spear. Like this is just straight up an arc. Maybe it's meant to be like a sweat drop. I don't know what this is meant to convey. Now that you pointed it out, I took it as just like an like what does this mean? And then he was surprised that, oh, hey, she's actually very good. But what does this convey? What is this image? I can only think it's either a sweat drop or it's meant to be phallic in nature. Like, oh, the spear dance. That's my best description. Also, this page feels this panel looks very Psyche. Like, this feels like any of the shots of Psyche's dad looking at the camera and saying something extremely embarrassing. I mean, it's silent, but it's definitely going to leave, like, some residue. Like, this entire thing's going to be shattered. There's going to be big, snaky, like, bits of concrete everywhere. Okay, each hull gets 2 chemicals. You're going to stuff 2 there together. So, what Senku was doing wasn't, like, mixing the ones that he then gave to her. But rather, I assume he was just doing it to show off to the guys, like, hey, this is how it's going to work. So push it down with the plug. You push it down enough, it shatters in between. They mix together. They start bubbling up. That is really cool. Like, yeah, that's a silent bomb. Or it's not really a bomb, but like I appreciate what it's a thing that Dr. Stone does a lot of saying it's a thing, like the cell phone, for instance, and it's not really a cell phone. It's not really what they're saying it is, but it gives off that feeling. I think that's fine. Like, it's one of those things where you have to just accept that it's not what they're literally saying it is, but it's still cool. It's meant to sound cool, and I think it works. I think it does come off as cool, like almost every time they do it. There's a few like misses, but not many. Usually, I'm fine with it. Okay, so it's shattered. Senku, there's no telling what you'll need in the future, but we're stuffing some rare rocks and metals in this treasure chest. There's gold, diamonds, and platinum. Because Senku, I knew that someday you're gonna revive the whole world in a snap, just like that. More psychic communication. God, I love this, like, thematically. Like, I've been rereading the first couple volumes of Dr. Stone. By the way, if you don't want to buy the volumes for some reason, if you're a poor boy, at least the first volume of Dr. Stone, like on Shonen Jump sites, like they do replace the weekly scans with the volume releases. I don't think they have a schedule for when they do that. They kind of just do it at times. It's not consistent across the different series, but they do it. So if you want to read at least the first volume in like volume formats, you can just do it. Just pay that $1.99 a month. But anyways, I brought that up because this feels like, a thematic through line to, when his dad spent all his money, he sold his car just to give Senku that lab. Like, it's the same thing of this entire thing has been, like, he's been handing off more and more to Senku because he just knows, like, yeah, I can't do it alone, but Senku, I believe in him. I know he'll be revived. Like, he'll revive himself someday. And when he's revived, I want him to have everything I could possibly give him. I can't be there for him, but I want to leave my son with everything I can possibly give him. I appreciate that so much. Like, Byakuya is an incredible dad. And it's so weird to do that in a shonen series. To have a character that is cool because he did stuff, but he didn't get far enough. Like, he didn't accomplish that much. Though I guess that's wrong. He did accomplish, like, leaving behind an entire civilization of human beings. Multiple even now. So, never mind. He did do much more than I was thinking of. I just mean, like, in terms of, like, helping Senku. But even then, like, I don't want to underplay it, and I can't underplay it. Like, Senku would not be where he is right now if he hadn't founded Ishigami Village, if he hadn't left behind the 100 Tales, if he hadn't, left behind breadcrumbs, if he hadn't left behind the record player, and if he hadn't left behind this. Like, Byakuya left so much behind. I think Senku could have saved the entire world without it, but it would have taken so much longer. Never forget that Byakuya and Senku are not blood related. That's not allowed. It's so wild. Like, I love the idea I love it in a comedic way that, like, the editors especially, I doubt, like, clearly Boichi and Igaki did not intend that at the very start. But I like that the editors were like, alright, so no matter how much they genetically mix, there's still some blood relation over those thousands and thousands of years. So it's not okay. Byakuya has to be completely Senku has to be completely unrelated to anyone else in the village. It'd be weird otherwise. What in the world? Still, I mean, honestly, if we do buy that, if we accept that, yes, they're completely not blood related, that just makes it 10 times better. That Byakuya isn't even saying, like, it's my descendants, it's my bloodline. Like, that doesn't matter at all to him. He just believes in Senku, in this kid that he raised as a single father. This orphan that he raised as a single father, most likely. Because he's completely unblood related. Like, he can't be, like, a cousin or something. Or, like, an uncle or whatnot. So, overall, fantastic chapter. Like, it's not, like, a top-tier Dr. Stone chapter, but that's because I hold the top-tier chapters in extremely high regard. This was still a very, very good chapter of Dr. Stone. I'd probably put it above Chainsaw Man. I really did enjoy Boichi cover Zoro vs. Mihawk. And I do have to say that, that is the entire thing I did. Like, it was the entire experience of reading the chapter, of reading the other original chapters, of talking about it. Like, that is, like, it is an experience more than it is a single chapter. And from that angle, I do think it's better than Dr. Stone this week. Alright, well, we've got one thing left. Let's go do it. Next is My Hero Academia. Chapter 236. Always gotta check to see if the title's here, but it wasn't. Oh, God. Oh, and you can see the gore. Like, it's not even just, he disintegrated the dog. It's, his dog fell apart. Chunks of it hitting the ground as it bleeds out. Friendship ended with fun. Now depression is my best friend. Oh, boy. Tenko Shimura Origin Part 2. Not quite as good as what everyone said last week. It would have been cool if it was Shigaraki Origin, but I like this because, like, we're not going to get into Shigaraki then. Like, this is all just more of this backstory. Like, presumably All For One isn't even going to show up. I mean, maybe he will at the end, but, like, this is still Tenko Shimura's origin, not Shigaraki's. I was the one who said it had to be a secret. And of course, like, I can't say I've been in this situation. Definitely not this situation. But I've been in, the classic kid situation of I did something bad, unrelatedly, someone else is coming over, like a friend or a cousin or, like, a relative, and I'm gonna get in trouble if they come here. Oh no, oh no. Can't talk. Of course, I mean, if you see your brother with your dead dog, like, I mean, why would you not freak out? Can't blame her. Can't talk. So itchy. Hana, itchy. I feel like the itchiness, I said it last week, I'll say it again, the itchiness has to be his quirk. Like, I think it is that, like, his disintegration power I don't even think it might be, like, finger-based. But, like, when he touches himself, I think he's very subtly eroding parts of his skin. Like, just enough for it to be irritating. So it seems like a allergy, but it's because he keeps rubbing his eyes that his eyes look like that. It's because he's, scratching himself that he needs to scratch more. I thought you came to apologize, so this time you gotta protect me. But, yeah... God damn. I mean, how is the anime gonna do this? Like, this is part 5 levels of gore everywhere. And My Hero's in a time slot where I don't think you can just do the JoJo's thing of censor the gore with more blood. Jesus Christ. I do think, like, it's going to be very, like, powerful in the moment. Like, it's already insane. But, like, with the right music, with the right narration, like Shigaraki's dirty, grimy sounding voice over all of it. I mean, I guess this would be it would be Tenko's voice over all of this. But no, because this is, him from the future, from, the present, talking about it in hindsight. So it's got to be grimy Shigaraki. And the same thing happened to Hana. At the moment, I still thought it was a villain's doing, and he's touching his face, which is just making it worse. No, maybe that's wrong. And of course, they come out, they see everything here. Thinking back, maybe I already understood what was really going on. Why'd they always make up excuses for him? Don't cry, that's all they ever had to say to me. It built up little by little over time. I hate everyone. And I mean, yeah, thankfully, I have never been in a relation, like, I've never been abused like the way Tenku was by his father. But I've been in that, the childlike situation of, oh boy, I wish everyone could die. And, in the moment, like, everyone goes through that, and it's fine because you're a little kid, you get super emotional, and then you get over it. To have an ability like this, a devastating power that can kill everyone before you can even think about it. Before you can even want it, really. Like, the fact that it's happening through, like, entirely because he's freaking out, that's horrifying. God damn! He couldn't even get one last hug. He annihilated her before she could touch him. I hope you can live a life full of smiles and joy. Oh God. I mean, we only really saw the mental abuse and, like, one slap, but I guess this is me reading into it. I read more physical violence into it than I expected. Like, because we got the one slap and no one really looked at it, but I guess, to be fair, Tenko's mom and the grandparents both were like, yeah, if you're going to make this physical, then we're going to leave. So I guess that was the only time he was physically hurt. It was mostly just emotional. But even then, like, it was still abuse. Like, that is absolutely abuse. Like, he was absolutely suffering constantly. And, like, it was very much an abuser's household, in the sense that you have all these other people who aren't doing anything, and the one person who is doing whatever he wants. Like, he is, fucking up the kids, and everyone else just comforts the kids, but they don't actually stop him at all. They yell at him a bit, but there's no, like, clear break. That is textbook abuse 101. And even here, like, I assume this is when he gets dusted as well, but I get why his father did it. Like, it's partially just I need to stop him. It's partially also, like, if he's knocked out, then his quirk will stop, hopefully. But at the same time, if I were in Tenko's situation right now, I'd be pissed off. I'd want to kill him. Yes, in that moment, while brimming with unmistakable bloodlust, I touched my father. And with everyone else, he was freaking out. With everyone else, like, it was him unconsciously venting, annihilating everyone without, wanting to. But this is the first murder he committed. Everything else was manslaughter. This is murder. It filled me with pure, maddening ecstasy. And this shot, like, it looks so much like Shigaraki. Okay, just off the top of my head, you can doubt me, but I feel like this also feels very Midoriya-esque. Like the hair feels Midoriya-esque in terms of like the way it's drawn, and the smile especially. Like it feels like you could put this in a parallel with all the other, the times where Deku smiled, where Bakugo smiled, where Todoroki has smiled. Like it's mostly Bakugo and Deku and All Might, but like you could definitely set this as next to any of those smiles. Somewhere deep in my heart, I must have been yearning for that all along, and just like that, the itch was gone. Which I guess that implies like I still think the itch was his powers, but like clearly his powers and his emotional state are connected. I think it was like it was his his abuse. It was the fact that he was being he was being crushed down. He was being put in the situation where all he wanted was someone to tell his father no, he did not have that power, and no one was standing up for him, no one was helping him. They were just like patting him on the head, and they weren't even telling him like, hey, stop trying to be a hero. They were encouraging him to do the thing that was getting him abused, which again, it's not his fault that he was being abused, but I can see why Tenko would have been like pissed off over that, why he would have wanted them to just nut up and either stop his father or get him to be in a situation where his father wouldn't beat the shit out of him or physically emotionally abuse him. Like I get it, and I think that was what was happening. Like his quirk was growing, it was welling up. He could not express it, so it was just silently irritating his body until now. Fuck, what a chapter! It's so boy oh boy. Like this is also a very definitive, like My Hero chapter. This is a chapter I'm gonna remember. But will I remember it as, like, impulsively as I remember the One Piece chapter? I think so, honestly. I was saying that as if it wouldn't be, but no, this is the backstory of our main villain. Or of the person who has been growing into being the main villain, I should say. And it's so powerful. It's so powerful. Every page feels like it has a nearly iconic moment in it. It's like, maybe not this page particularly. But, like, you've got the dog dissolving. You've got Hana, like, the slow switch from, her, trying to apologize for being a goddamn snitch. God damn it, Hana, you deserve... she didn't. She didn't deserve to die. Fuck, I had a nightmare this morning, and I feel like I'm gonna have a nightmare about this. I feel like this is gonna stick around my psyche for a little bit. I feel like I've gotta put it above One Piece. Which feels so weird after how much I talked up the One Piece chapter, but, like, it was so explosive. It was very much like it reminds me of my favorite Bleach chapters, my favorite like Chainsaw Man chapters, in that it was very emotional and it was very fast as well. It was a fast read. It's a different kind of iconic for One Piece. I find it difficult to try and rank them then, because this was this big milestone. But at the same time, like, holy crap. Well, that's My Hero Academia. I have no real speculation I want to do, and I've already said my piece concerning the abuse. Like, I find no pleasure / like desire to go any further on that tangents. I don't think it's constructive. I don't think it's interesting. I don't want to do it. So we are going to move on to check out the first 5 pages of chapter 222. Okay, actually, let's do that real quick. I scrolled way too far down. Okay, so clearly, this syncs up with the first page. Okay, stop at Tenko. Yes. We still haven't gotten to this. Where is this actually? Like, there's clearly, like, this looks like a paddle, like, maybe for, like, paddleball or for, what is it called again? Like, table tennis. So this could be the backyard, actually. Did we see a table tennis thing anywhere here in the backyard? The walls also look different. Like, this is very clearly like a fence, whereas this is more of a, like, containment area almost. Like, it looks almost like a warehouse. So this didn't happen. Then we got this. Oh my gosh, we're doing the thing that I love. Like, yeah, seeing his dog, freaking out over it. We don't quite get to see, what happens. Ah, and then this shot specifically. So what do we have here? We've got his dad. We've got, oh yeah, when his dad hit him, that clearly, like, impacted him quite a bit to know that, his dad showed up and then he immediately attacked him. He's a kid, he doesn't understand the context behind it, or even if he does, like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't justify it. Yeah, these do line up really, really well. The only one that doesn't really quite line up is Grandma, I believe. But I think we saw that in the previous chapter. Like, just, a glimpse of her looking away. Oh, no. That was the moment where, like, he was being hit and no one was doing anything. So I think that lines up really well. So when I have the whole family on me, I feel so sick that I want to vomit, but I also feel I also kind of feel at peace. And I guess it is, like, it makes sense that now the family is being destroyed. At the same time, he's now remembering the actual family. It's all coming back for real. Also, I said the vomit, but no, like, that's not a part of the flashback. Like, that is, him vomiting here. Yeah, like, I do really appreciate that it took this long. Like, could it have worked better if we saw it earlier? Maybe, perhaps. I don't think we needed to wait quite this long to get it, but at the same time, I think it works really well here. Like, we've had a lot of time with the League of Villains. We've seen them built up. I do think that Horikoshi could have done better to keep them as, like, a main focus or as an interesting focus. Like, especially with, they could have had Dabi doing more stuff in the background or something. But I think, like, for where we are right now, not thinking of what could have been, just thinking about how it actually is, I think this is done really well. It's been long due, but it also feels very in place. It's at place here. It makes sense. We had to do a lot of other stuff, but now we can finally get the Tomura focus. And I hope now that this is going to be what shifts the League of Villains into more of a main focus, like a main dark, group. I'm not totally sure what they're going to do from here on in, though. Like, they can't just keep on rolling over other evil organizations. They might fuse with, I guess they could. Like, they have Toga, they have Twice. They could kill Redestro and then impersonate him, and then have a fake Redestro control the rest of the Metal Liberation Army. Like, that'd be a good way to give them a bunch of mooks, a bunch of power, without them having to, like, build it up from the very bottom. It would also fit their theme of, like, stealing things, or, like, the fact that they don't seem to deserve the power they have. Like, it would fit really well. And yeah, that does make sense. Like, he did chunk everyone. It was much less of a disintegrated power and more of just a sloppy, fall-aparty power. We did see, like, we saw Redestro's finger crack. It didn't destroy it, but it did start to crack it. I do like the idea of his power being incapable of destroying hands, but also, like, during the big, like, wave of people, which is still a thing that's sticking out of my mind, is just one of the weirdest parts of all of My Hero Academia. In the big wave, like, afterwards, we just saw, like, nothing afterwards. We didn't see a ton of hands on the ground. Whereas, like, if we were supposed to know that he doesn't destroy hands, we would have seen, like, the city littered with hands. But yeah, Damage is right. We literally saw him breaking the finger. There's a hand being decayed on the screen right now. Good theories, though, Zaku. I'll always appreciate the long shot theories. Anyways, let's properly move on to... I still do not understand why John went with mangaka musings. He's never brought up on the podcast. Like, even this straight up calls them author comments. So why did he choose mangaka musings? And they have, like, separate tags. Like, if you don't know, you can find, like, different things they put out using the tags. They have separate tags for author comments and mangaka musings. And I believe the author comments one is longer, because they had, like, other ones in the past. So, I don't understand. John, what are you doing? Boichi-san's super intense One Piece. Wow, it's so awesome. I'm so grateful. Super thanks. To be fair, I guess this doesn't reflect whether the One Piece one-shot would have been after One Piece, because, like, Boichi's author comment would be where Boichi's thing is. Or it'd be where Dr. Stone is, I mean. Like, if someone does multiple entries in the same issue of Jump, they only get one author comment. They're on their phones again in that Jujutsu Kaisen manga. Oh, we had a baby. Hey, congrats, Yuki Tabata. I'm glad that the current arc of Black Clover seems to be heading towards a more, like, calm area where he can, like, chill out for a bit, where he doesn't have to, like, focus on the art that much, because, like, especially when they just had a baby for the first time, like, I want him to have some quality time with his kid. Akutami does feel like a very millennial author. He's always talking about his own series, he's always talking about his own flaws, he's, like, goofing on himself. I can see it. I thought I got caught in an automatic door, so I did the famous pose of Kabuki actor Otani Oji III in the role of Yako Edobe. Oh boy, that's a deep cut. Let's see. Will this show up? Like, if I just say Yako Edobe. Oh, so it's that guy, but Otani Oniji III. I feel like this is In the role of the Survivor. Oh, so it's that scene. It actually is this scene. Okay, cool. So I thought I got caught in an automatic door, so he did this pose. I don't understand. I actually don't understand though. Like, so the door was squishing him, like I assume. So then he did this. Like, it's not even like he was being pressed up against the door or something. I don't understand. I don't get this meme. Gotoge, explain yourself. Wait, is Gotoge a girl? I've never actually seen the mangaka for Kimetsu no Yaiba. I just assumed that they were male. God damn it! I never knew that. I legitimately 100% did not know that. That, like, it doesn't really change anything. But at the same time, like, I'm surprised that I did not know about that, considering how few female mangaka are in Jump. Damn. The story's getting really dynamic lately, and drawing it is even more fun. Wait, did he get a second author comment? Also, if he got... Why did they put it after Dr. Stone? Why didn't they put it after One Piece? Like, the way the author comments work in Japan is, like, they are part of the table of contents. Like, it is literally the table of contents, and then next to it is just a little blurb from the author. Like, that is the author comments. So, but I thought that they didn't get special ones for if they had multiple entries. I thought they were just left blank. Huh, I guess not. I was wrong. So many wonderful things have happened this year, but getting to work on this chapter was the best. I could see it. Like, I don't know if he's a big fan of One Piece or not, but, like, if you're going to cover any chapter, that's a pretty cool chapter to do. And there is something really interesting about it. Like, I kind of wish we had gotten a full, just unique One Piece chapter that was just pure Boichi, but at the same time, this was a really neat exercise. Plus, I mean, like, I haven't read, like, Origin or anything, so I don't know how well Boichi is as a writer, but like, if you're going to choose a good writer for a One Piece thing, who is a better writer than Oda himself? Like, just using Oda's own dialogue. I know, I said that. That's why I'm saying that I'm wrong, because clearly they do get multiple author comments. I thought that was not the case, but it clearly is. Nothing much happened this week. Every week I think, if only there was something interesting to write here. That does explain why Fujimoto's always talking about food. Like, I think that might have been him trying to do a bit, and now he's finally like, alright, so I can't really do it anymore. Nothing happens. I can't even come up with something involving food. Meanwhile, Taishi Susui in with the food comments. We finally had a staff takoyaki party. The new takoyaki cooking gadgets are stylish. Oh my. I received a ton of owl goods from the... Oh, really? That's interesting. Like, I guess Posca must be known vaguely now as the person who draws owls. Like, that's not the main focus of the Promised Neverland, but two people who are into owls, I guess it probably is. Okubo, man, get with the program. They announced that a while ago. That was like 2 Nintendo Directs ago. How could you be that laggy? I did hear about this, that Hinamaru Zumo is in fact over. I didn't read it myself. I read the first volume. It didn't really appeal to me. Like, I think the concept is cool, like the idea of a small sumo wrestler, but it didn't grind, like, it didn't hit me. I know the anime is also very well received, so I might check it out. But in general, like, sports series aren't really my thing, it seems. Sure, fine. I have finally, like, I've been trying to pay with stuff with my phone, but at this point, like, it's so much easier for me to pull out my card. Because when I pull out my phone, like, it's just inherently bigger than my card. And I can slip my card out of my wallet really easily, so why not? Like, if it's going to be just waving it either way, why not just using my card? I finally gave in and signed up for YouTube Premium, it's great! Thanks, Fukuda-sensei. Wait, is there a Magical Doremi movie? Wait, what? Ah, dope. Does it involve the main cast, though? Like the originals? Or is it going to be like a compilation thing? No, these are the new girls. Oh no! Oh, this is fuck. What is her name? I only ever watched the dub, so I always think of her as Dory, or as it was Dory, right? Because the dub split the 3 main girls into Dory, Ray, something, and then was it Mimi? Whereas in the Japanese, her name is just Doremi. I wanted to get into Magical Doremi more. It's very, like, it's Baby's first Precure, which I'm not a big fan of, but it does have, like, an ongoing storyline throughout all of the seasons, which I think is, like, that's really neat for a ongoing Magical Girl series. Like, it's not like Cardcaptor Sakura, where it just kind of stopped and then started again. It's not like Sailor Moon, where it just, it was one run. It is, like, a ongoing thing that is anime original that continuously developed the same characters. I think that's super dope. It's interesting that they seem to all still be children, though. Like, did they not grow up? Did we not do a uh, what am I thinking of? Like a Nanaha? Like, does the entire series take place when they're still like when they're still in grade school? Anyways, okay, pretty hyped for that then. Also, I did hear about the Digimon movie, but Try was very so I'm not very hyped for it. Overall, good chapter or good like issue of Jump. Fantastic issue. Nothing I'd really switch around here. Like, that makes sense. I'm a little shaky with Promised Neverland. I kind of think it was better than Chainsaw Man, but I had more fun with Chainsaw Man. Like, it's always tricky, because, like, I would not say I had more fun with My Hero than I did with One Piece. But it was... those are definitely the two that I would switch around the most. I don't know which I liked more, but I've got to give My Hero the edge. What a fantastic chapter. What a fantastic issue of Jump. God damn. Thank you guys so very much for watching. This was fantastic. I've probably spent way too long on this, but I had a fun time. I hope you guys had a fun time too. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.